Chapter 4195, Boom Boom. The dragon dust keeps frantically resisting the attack of the dragon claw, but he is black and blue and covered with blood. At this time, the dragon dust is also stubborn, biting his teeth. From the beginning, he could only take a few moves. Later, he could withstand dozens of attacks in one breath. It can be said that Long Chen died countless times and was still alive. He was dancing on the scythe of death. Stupid, what's the use of hard spelling? You'll die if you don't get it. You still don't understand me at last. The dragon strongman couldn't help his anger. Long Chen has just gone through a fight, and his whole body is covered with blood. Originally, he was still complacent about his progress. As a result, the dragon strongman came down in a basin of cold water, making him cool from head to foot. Don't you see that its attack is only dragon claw but not dragon body? The dragon strongman scolded. See? Long Chen can only harden his head. Why is that? Asked the dragon strongman. Where does Long Chen know why? Enter that space, that dragon claw attacks at random, he can only passively attack. But the dragon strongman asked, the dragon dust can only be covered by one. Can it be invisible? Ilgo, the dragon strongman was speechless for a while, and he couldn't help scolding, it's hiding a fart. That's a hint to you that it concentrates all its strength on the dragon claw. Therefore, there are claws but no body. When the claws fly in the air, they tear the sky and the earth, and they are irresistible. If you want to attack its body, you must first take the claw of it. You people often talk about both attack and defense. As far as we dragon people are concerned, that is bullshit. Since you are strong enough to attack, the opponent can only block you. How can you attack you? If you spread out your whole strength, you will be weak in attack, and you will not be able to defend more than half. How can you be so worried about gain and loss that you can achieve great things? When Long Chen heard the words of the dragon strongman, he immediately felt a sense of enlightenment. This idea is the same as Zhenxiu, one sword cut out, heart and soul, victory without defeat. If the enemy can block it, it will prove that the enemy is better than me. Since he has been defeated, even if he cuts the second sword, it is meaningless. If you are better than the other side, you can kill yourself with a sword. Why defend yourself? The supernatural power of the dragon nationality also takes the extreme route of hegemony. Anyone who takes this route must be extremely conceited. You idiot, I remind you that you are still entangled with it. Do you think that the longer you delay, the faster you progress? You have gone astray. The more you think about how to defend the attack behind and prolong the fighting time, the less confident you are. If you don't have the determination to defeat each other, it means that you don't have the confidence to win. If you don't have the determination and confidence, how can you practice? The stronger the dragon people are, the more angry they are, the worse they are. The lesson of my predecessors is that Long Chen can only admit his mistake. At the same time, Long Chen also asked himself, what's the matter? Now the brain seems to be really dull, so obvious things, can't see, seems to be really stupid. Hearing that Long Chen admitted his mistake, the dragon strongman seemed embarrassed to scold again, so he stopped talking. After Long Chen's healing, he took a deep breath, adjusted the essence, qi and spirit to the peak state, and entered the immortal space again. Cloud Dragon offers claws. With a roar, Long Chen's whole body glows, and 18,000 scales around him light up. The runes on the scales surge to Long Chen's palm like a tide. This time, Long Chen has no reservation anymore. He concentrates all his dragon power on this claw, which has a momentum of becoming benevolent if he doesn't succeed. Boom! There was a big bang and the dragon claw was smashed, but the palm of Long Chen's hand was also shaken to pieces. Long Chen quits the rune space and looks into his hand. He is surprised and happy. He successfully smashes the terrible dragon claw. The dragon strongman said, there's nothing to be excited about. The way of transportation is not right. The power is empty but not real. It's coagulated but not gathered. The cohesion of dragon power is not to pour the power into the dragon claw by squeezing, but to summon the power of the whole body to gather with the dragon claw. Your order is wrong. First there is the dragon claw, then there is the gathering blessing of the dragon power. Only in this way can the heart follow the mind and the power come from the heart. Master dual, fast changing, others will not give you the time to store power. You need to do, when you need, the moment of claw, the whole body strength will follow your mind. The heart to the force, refers to which hits which, but is not hits which refers to which, that originally is inferior, cannot achieve this, forever cannot step into the master's threshold. You have too many distractions now, and your brain reaction is obviously not as bright as before. You'd better remember that no matter when, strength always comes first. Your energy should be put on practice. Don't think about those illusory things. Even if you think about them thoroughly, it's useless if you don't have enough strength. With no reality whatever? Long Chen's heart was awe-inspiring, as if the words of the dragon strongman had another meaning. However, the words of the dragon strongman also remind him that, unconsciously, his understanding began to decline. We must be vigilant. He needs to put more experience on practice. Long Chen grabs out with one claw, but he habitually pours strength into his arm, that is to say, he is the first power, then the claw. But according to the meaning of the dragon strongman, this is a wrong way. According to it, it is a direct way out of the claw, and the power is naturally led to the claw with the moment of the claw out. But this way for Long Chen is against the hand habit. He needs to get rid of this habit. However, once the habit is formed, it is difficult to get rid of it, so Long Chen keeps going out to find the feeling. The dragon strongman didn't urge him, and let the dragon dust keep on clawing. Fortunately, the cloud dragon of the dragon dust didn't learn claws for a long time, and it hasn't formed a deep-rooted habit. Now it's difficult to correct, but after several thousand claws in a row, Long Chen has gradually mastered a sense. With that feeling, Long Chen became more practical and continued to practice. As Long Chen continued to claw, the roaring wind became louder and louder, gradually forming a harsh sonic boom. Then the sound of sonic boom became more and more loud and deafening, but with the passage of time, the roar began to gradually decrease, and the power of sonic boom and strong wind gradually disappeared. However, the claw of Long Chen catches the crack in the void, and there is a tendency that one claw will explode the void. What's more, with the claw of Long Chen catching out, the scales on his whole body darkened in an instant, and all his strength was naturally released with the claw. Long Chen is immersed in this claw, as if this claw covers all the essentials of martial arts in the world. Mastering this move is tantamount to controlling the whole world. What Long Chen doesn't know is that when he practices this move repeatedly, the dragon strongman who was still scolding him before is saying to himself, "This boy's understanding is terrible. He can understand it at once. I don't need to teach him the second level of artistic conception of dragon god's physical training. Hey, this Holy King meeting is interesting. The mantis catches the cicada and the yellow sparrow is behind. All living beings are chessmen, but I'm afraid some chessmen are not so easy to control." www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4196 Boom. In Xianwen space, there is a startling explosion. Long Chen grabs it out with one claw and breathes out. The attacked claw is shattered by Long Chen, but Long Chen has no damage. Boom boom. The dragon dust's claws are waving, fighting with the dragon claws crazily. The void is torn up, the avenue collapses, and the whole immortal space is shaking. The dragon dust roars repeatedly, his blood boils. The dragon blood in the body is completely ignited. That kind of feeling makes the dragon dust produce a kind of unprecedented carefree. In the past, Long Chenking had the power of a dragon, but it could only be used in the simplest and most childish way. It was like a man with endless wealth, but he didn't know how to use his wealth. Now, after the instruction of the dragon strongman, Long Chen has finally learned to spend money. With every blow, Long Chen will try his best. Long Chen has not fought so happily for a long time. Cloud Dragon offers claws. With a roar of dragon dust, 5 fingers are like hooks, and the golden light on the fingertips is as bright as 5 stars. Boom! With a bang, the world in front of him disappears. When Long Chen returns to the main hall again, the immortal world is suddenly burst by him. Haha, that's what Yunlong's claws should look like. It's good. It's very good. The voice of the dragon strongman rings in Longchen's mind, full of joy and pride. Everything depends on the instructions of the predecessors. Longchen said respectfully that he was grateful to the strong dragon from the bottom of his heart. Between you and me, don't talk about the nonsense without nutrition. Good boy, I'm right about you. The dragon strongman laughs. In fact, the achievements of Longchen are far beyond its expectation. You know, after all, Longchen is a Terran. It's almost impossible to control the power of the dragon. In the past, the rage of the dragon strongmen was pretended. The purpose of swearing is to make Longchen calm down and concentrate. After all, Longchen has too many things to deal with and his energy is in disorder. Now, the cloud dragon of dragon dust presents Claw de Shang. Even if calm like him, still can't hide the excitement of heart. How is not stingy to praise dragon dust? It's a great honor to get the praise of a strong dragon, and Longchen is also excited. It's a great honor to get the affirmation of such a strong dragon. Longchen doesn't dare to be too complacent to avoid being scolded later. Longchen continues to look at the bone tablet. He wants to see if he can understand more. Don't look at it. There's only one word on the keel. It's the unique skill of the real dragon clan. The others are all the supernatural powers of other dragon people. It's useless for you to learn them. You may even be misled. Dragon strong no dragon dust mind, remind way. Other dragons' unique skills? Longchen can't help looking at the lord who is still in the settled state. This boy belongs to the dark dragon family. His blood is very pure. The most rare thing is that his dragon spirit is as strong as a rock. He uses a drop of your blood to summon the power of the real dragon in Xianwen space, making the opponent more powerful than himself. The dragon people are strong. Make your opponent stronger than you are. Longchen's heart leaps wildly. Looking at the back of the lord, he can't help but feel full of respect. Obviously, the lord of the temple is terrible. The strong one in Xianwen world is not his opponent. In order to get a stronger opponent, he blessed his real dragon essence and blood to his opponent. No wonder the lord of the temple was hurt at the beginning. His feelings were all intentional. He wanted a stronger opponent than himself. You don't have to look for other Xianwen. This is all your chance. Other things are useless to you. And you have mastered the second mental skill of Dragon God's body refining. With your intelligence, you can master one skill, 10,000 skills and other skills the dragon people are strong. Master, in this case, can you teach me your other powers? Longchen can't help but say. The dragon strong man is very mysterious. Longchen knows that it is absolutely an unimaginable existence. If he can master its magic power, Longchen may really be invincible. It's no use. There's no reference for our dragon's supernatural power. It's all continued through blood and soul. You can learn the dragon spirit refining skill that I created by myself. It takes up a lot of luck. You can only learn other magic powers through my scales. I can't teach them to you directly. The strong of the dragon nationality have no choice but to find a way out. The dragon's supernatural power is often passed down by blood and soul, although the blood and soul will decline, leading to the loss of some supernatural power. But the primitive rune hidden in the blood and soul will not disappear. It will continue in the way of deep sleep, which is a kind of self-protection. When we don't know which generation it will last to, it may suddenly awaken, and this awakening is the atavism in the mouth of the human race. Therefore, to practice the dragon's magic power, you must have the hidden energy in your body, just like planting crops. If you want to have a good harvest, you need to have a piece of land first, not to mention the efforts of fertilizing, grasping, and watering. You don't even have the land to grow crops, although the dragon dust has absorbed the essence of the real dragon. However, Longchen is not a dragon, nor a combination of the human race and the dragon. It's hard to practice the dragon's supernatural power. Originally, it was a miracle for Longchen to become a dragon's blood body refining skill. At the beginning, the dragon's strong people suddenly wanted to teach Longchen their own dragon god body refining skill. In fact, it was ready to fail. In fact, even he can't believe that Longchen can practice successfully, but the dragon god's body refining technique is his own creation. Although some things are not clear, it can describe an outline. In addition to Dragon God's body refining, all its powers are handed down by blood and soul. When he reaches that level, he will wake up automatically. He can't tell why. How can he teach Dragonchen? Therefore, the dragon's magic power of Longchen must be understood by himself. Even the strong dragon can't teach him. Hearing this, Longchen felt disappointed and regretted. At the beginning, he only had time to learn 3 moves to master the dragon's magic power. Now, in retrospect, the loss is too great. Buzz, just at this moment, a wave came, and Longchen hurried to seek fame. He was surprised and pleased and saw Baishir's figure. At this time, the whole body of white poetry is flowing with golden radiance. Every step, a golden lotus appears on the ground immediately. The golden lotus was very heavy, which absorbed Baishir firmly on the ground. At this time, Baishir's eyes were full of shock. When she came up, she was almost lifted by the authority of the Lord. Shirshir, you're here too? Seeing Baishir come up, Longchen is very happy. Just as Longchen is about to walk by, the whole Lingxiao palace suddenly shakes. No, it's almost time. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4197. Longchen and Baishishi's face changed. Although they knew that there was a limit to the time when Lingxiao Palace appeared, they never thought it would be so soon. Baishir has just finished understanding the 2 inscriptions on the 2nd floor, and just came to the 3rd floor. It is about to end. All of a sudden, the terror in the 3rd floor disappeared in a flash, the roar of tsunami stopped, and everything was calm. You have 3 hours left. Don't waste your time. At this time, the Lord of the Temple stood up, and he gave up the practice. Lord of the Temple, Longchen and Baishir look at the Lord of the Temple at the same time, and the Lord of the Temple pats Longchen on the shoulder. I have tested your drop of real dragon blood essence in Xianwen world, and your future is endless. Don't let it down. With these words, the Lord of the Temple went out like this. The 3rd floor was only left with Longchen and Baishir. Shirshir, you should understand it quickly. Don't waste time. Longchen rode. Baishir nodded, and she went directly to the bone tablet in the middle. When she came to the front of the bone tablet, an immortal text suddenly lit up. Baishishi's delicate body trembled, and suddenly entered the immortal text world. Seeing Baishir enter the immortal world so quickly, Longchen can't help but smile. Baishishi's talent and understanding are amazing. Although the time is short, Longchen still believes that she will have a great harvest. The Lord of the Temple left. Longchen looked at the 3 bone tablets. The strong one of the dragon clan said that his chance was all right. He would not gain any more if he tried to understand. Although he was still reluctant, he gave up. Some things, which should be yours, are yours and not yours, will only bring more losses to themselves. Don't be so tangled. These early Xianwen are not original Xianwen. They are not even copied. They are rubbings. It's impossible for you to reveal the secrets of the Jili people by them, so don't look like you've never seen the world before. The voice of the dragon strongman came. After hearing what the dragon strongman said, Longchen felt a little embarrassed. It was the dragon strongman who knew him. Since the dragon strongman said so, the dragon dust no longer tangled, turned to the 2nd floor. When walking to the 2nd floor, Longchen finds that thousands of people have gathered here, and Baishiaola is also among them. What makes Longchen most happy is that Baishiaola's eyes are good. At this time, he was sitting in front of a stone tablet, with 3 colors of divine light flowing behind his head, 6 kinds of runes surging, like a reincarnation eye, overlooking all living beings. It seems that Baishiaola's mother uses secret methods to help Baishiaola recover quickly so as not to delay his practice. Baishiaola's mother is beside her. Instead of closing her eyes, she looks at her son quietly. Her eyes are full of pride and doting. She is quietly protecting Baishiaola's dharma. It seems that Baishiaola has gained a lot of opportunities. Xiachen, Guoran, Qinfeng, Qiyu, Mu Qingyun, Luo Bing and Luo Ning also appeared on the 2nd floor, but they didn't see Zhong Ling and Zhong Xiu. At the same time, Longchen has a look. The disciples in the Temple of War God are far more than those in Lingxiao Academy. Moreover, the disciples in the Temple of War God release much more breath when they understand. Long Chen looked around the second floor, and then went to the first floor. When he came to the first floor, Long Chen's mood suddenly became excited. In the hall on the first floor, tens of thousands of disciples are learning. What excites Long Chen is that he sees countless familiar faces. It was the dragon blood soldiers who came. When Lingxiao Palace was opened, Long Chen asked people to bring news to Xingazong and let the assembled dragon blood soldiers come. When you see those brothers sitting on the ground and closing their eyes, the blood of dragon dust is surging up unconsciously. Many of these brothers have never seen before in the 3,000 world. There are more than 2,000 dragon blood soldiers here. Every face can be named by dragon dust. They are all real men who have been killed by dragon dust side by side for countless times. However, they are all realizing that Long Chen can't wake them up. When Long Chen comes out of Lingxiao Palace, he sees a sea of people outside the palace. These people are still adapting to those barriers. Although they know that Lingxiao Palace is about to disappear, they still refuse to give up. This is the cruelty of the road of cultivation. Strength is everything. Many times, opportunities are in front of you, but you have no strength. You can only watch opportunities slip away from you, but you have no way. Most of the time, working hard to improve yourself is to seize the opportunity when it comes, so that you can change your destiny. Lingxiao Palace will disappear in 3 hours, but Long Chen will come out ahead of time. This is the proposal of the Dragon Strongman. According to it, the Cloud Dragon Claw he displays in Xianwen space is actually a power between virtual and real. When Long Chen quits Xianwen space, it will be difficult to perform in the outside world, because the law of heaven and earth will change the power of this move. While everyone is still understanding, Long Chen should seize the time to consolidate this move, so as not to think that he has learned it and then show it, but it's not the same thing. Long Chen left Lingxiao Palace and galloped away alone. Just as Long Chen was searching for a place to practice, countless monsters came out of their respective places. Ancient forces all have their own inside information, which is just like Lingxiao Palace of Lingxiao Academy. They also have their own collection of immortal texts and treasures of inheritance, which is why, as soon as the Holy King's Congress opened, all major races and forces swarmed here so madly. From the era of chaos to the present, countless forces have gone through ups and downs, and many inheritances have been cut off, and the Holy King's Congress is their only chance to continue inheriting. Xinguang State is a sacred power. It is protected by the power of heaven. It is not affected by the rise and fall of the state. Whatever remains here will be preserved. Unless the inheritance has been completely destroyed, their holy land will disappear. Otherwise, as long as the holy state is in place, those declining forces will still be able to revive. As the Holy Land disappears into the countdown, more and more Tianjiao monsters come out of the Holy Land. They look up to the sky and roar, and begin to declare war on the whole world. Obviously, they have been greatly promoted in their Holy Land, full of confidence and unprecedented fighting spirit. With the passage of time, more and more strong people go out of the pass, and the breath of terror rises to the sky. They seem to show their divine power, and at the same time prove their determination to win the title of Holy King. Boom! 3 hours later, the great King State trembled, and a huge challenge arena slowly rose in the center of the King State. With the appearance of the challenge arena, the vast air of chaos radiates, and the whole world is bathed in divine light. At that moment, the whole Xinguang State was boiling, and people said excitedly, "The Xinguang Assembly has finally begun." www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4198 Boom. In the fierce roar, the huge challenge arena rises from Xinguang State. As the challenge arena rises, Xinguang State is squeezed and deformed by the huge force, forming a ring around the challenge arena. The challenge arena is too big, almost equal to the size of the original Xinguang State. With the extrusion of the challenge arena, the original Xinguang State forms a circle of stands. With the appearance of the challenge arena, Endless chaotic air gushes out. The whole holy state is shrouded in mist, and the haze is flying. Every breath will make people feel comfortable. It is said that every time the king's assembly appears, it will bring new changes to the world. Every king will gather all kinds of spirit and become the king of the whole world. Someone cried out excitedly. In their generation, it's a great blessing to witness such a grand event, and everyone is excited. With the emergence of the challenge arena, the arrogance of the major forces are also ready to move. The older generation of strong people can only look at the challenge arena and sigh. They only hate that they were born too early to be qualified to participate in the Holy King's assembly. And countless young disciples, looking at the challenge arena, are excited and their blood is surging up. This is their challenge arena. The disciples of Lingshao Academy have begun to gather. Lingshao Academy is in the first circle in front of the challenge arena. The Lord of the Hall has already stood on the Academy Square and quietly watched the challenge arena. Behind the Lord of the Temple, there are Bai Zhantong and another deputy Lord of the Temple. Then there are Bai Shishi's mother, Bai Shaole's mother, and some strong men in the costumes of the Temple of God of War. In today's square, hundreds of thousands of disciples have gathered. Bai Shishir, Bai Xiaole and others are looking around, but there is no shadow of Long Chen. "What's your boss doing? Why don't you come at this time?" Bai Shi couldn't help saying. "We don't know." Guoran and Xiaqin are also worried. Although they know it should take a little time for the challenge arena to open, the boss is gone at this time. They are just like ants on the hot pot. And behind them, more than 2,000 dragon blood soldiers are eager to see through. Many of them have never seen Longchen since Tianwu's farewell. They are more eager to see Longchen than anyone else. "Where's Qingxian?" asked Bai Shishir. "Well, this I don't know." Guoran suddenly feels embarrassed. He also guesses that the boss may have gone to find Yu Qingxian, but he doesn't dare to say. "When we left Xingazong, Sister Qingxian was still closed. We didn't know the details." A dragon blood soldier is in a hurry. Although Long Chen told them to come to Lingshao Academy, Yu Qingxian was in an important period of closure, and they did not dare to disturb him. "Ah, Sister Qingxian, you are coming," Guoran suddenly exclaimed, and everyone followed his reputation. Sure enough, Yu Qingxian, dressed in white, came in like dehydrated hibiscus. Seeing Yu Qingxian, Bai Shishir suddenly became a little nervous and saluted Yu Qingxian. "Little sister, Bai Shishir has met Sister Qingxian." It turns out that Yu Qingxian is at a critical moment when she understands the shackles of Dandao. She just left the pass, only to find that Long Chen and others in Xinghe's sect have disappeared. "I just found Lingshao Palace, just in time for the gathering of Lingshao Palace." When I saw Bai Shishir saluting, Yu Qingxian quickly saluted and said, "Sister Shishir is very kind. Last time I left the world for 3,000 years, I miss her very much. Today, when I see her, she looks radiant and bright. It's even better than before. No wonder Long Chen is always thinking about her." Praised by Yu Qingxian, Bai Shishi's pretty face turns red. In particular, Yu Qingchuan's radiant face seems to imply that it is because of Long Chen's company. However, Yu Qingchuan's last sentence makes Bai Shishir secretly happy. As for feelings, Bai Shishir is very simple. She will believe what Yu Qingxian says. When Yu Qingxian arrives, Bai Zhantong, Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother can't help looking at them secretly. Seeing that Bai Shishir blushed, Bai Zhantong immediately hated him and said, "I'm very strong at ordinary times. I'm counseled at the critical moment. I'm in a bad situation when I meet you. My daughter of Bai Zhantong, do you want to be a little girl for others?" Bai Zhantong can see that Bai Shishir is not the opponent of others at all. He blushes in a word, which makes him particularly depressed. What is small? As soon as Bai Zhantong opened his mouth, Bai Shishi's mother's face suddenly became cold, and one hand seized Bai Zhantang's soft flesh. Bai Zhantong suddenly straightened up and showed his teeth in pain. Obviously, his words offended Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother. Because there is no difference between Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother, just because Bai Shishi's mother is 2 years older than Bai Shaole's mother, so Bai Shishi's mother becomes a sister, not who is Dafeng or Erfeng. But Bai Zhantang's mind is full of holes. Seeing that his daughter is not someone else's opponent, he is weak and upset. It doesn't matter that he mumbles, which offends both his wives. At this time, Bai Zhantong also knew that he had said something wrong. Seeing the two women's cannibalism in their eyes, he quickly recognized them and turned his eyes around. At the same time, he made a gesture with his hand, which meant that everyone was watching. It's true that the change of the white exhibition hall caused the people around. Even the Lord couldn't help looking at the white exhibition hall. However, the Lord didn't say anything and turned his face. It's okay. You go on. We don't see anything. Another deputy hall master smiles and turns his face. The others, too, turned their faces and pretended that nothing had happened. Bai Zhantong was very angry. Several of these guys were always in danger. At this time, there was no one to help him. I'll tell you that Shirshir is my daughter. She has the right to pursue the happiness she wants. Don't make trouble for me or I won't forgive you. Bai Shishi's mother is vicious. Bai Zhantong immediately nods like a chicken pecking rice. Bai Shishi's mother just lets him go. Over there, Bai Shirshir and Yu Qingxian are holding hands, talking and laughing. Looking at Bai Shishi's smile, her mother sighed a long time. Bai Shirshir has been proud and lonely since she was a child. In fact, she has no friends around her. Only she knows that under the strong appearance of Bai Shirshir, there is a lonely and hesitating heart. Although she doesn't know what the future will be like, at least Bai Shishi's smile comes from her heart. Sister Shirshir, where is Longchen? Yu Qingxian finally asked. Originally, Yu Qingxian wanted to ask at the beginning, but if she asked rashly, she was afraid of Bai Shishi's disgust, so she could not bear to ask until now. Bai Shirshir was stunned. Shouldn't Longchen be with you? Boom! At this moment, the challenge arena trembled, and huge steps appeared from the edge of the challenge arena. One of them was not far from Lingshao Academy. As soon as the steps appeared, countless disciples swarmed to the steps. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4199. The appearance of the steps indicates the real opening of the king's assembly, and countless disciples are shouting and rushing to the huge steps. Why don't you come back, Longchen? It all started. Looking at countless, Tianjiao has begun to impact the ladder. Bai Shirshir is a little anxious. Elder sister, don't worry. Longchen is not careless. He didn't come at this time. There must be something wrong. In any case, the Holy King's assembly is ultimately contested by strength. It doesn't matter one after another. Just go in before closing. Yu Qingxian said with a smile. Hoo-hoo. Just as the crowd was talking, countless figures, like the tide, rushed to the steps. The scene was very spectacular. In other directions, there are also countless figures flocking to the ladder. There is only one ladder for each race. There are countless practitioners in the Terran side, and they can only go to the challenge arena through here. Fortunately, that ladder is big enough for hundreds of millions of strong people to rush into it, and it doesn't seem too crowded. When these strong men stepped up the stairs, they began to gallop all the way, but soon their speed dropped. On the steps, there are gradually ripples, like ripples of water, which slow them down. Suddenly, in the square of Lingshao Academy, a figure suddenly appeared. Bai Shirshir and Yu Qingxian exclaimed, "What's the matter with you, Longchen?" At this time, the clothes of Longchen were broken, and there were even bloodstains, as if he had just experienced a big war. Originally, Bai Shirshir was full of fire. At this time, he seemed to have forgotten to send it out, and his face was full of concern. "I'm fine. I'm sorry I'm late." Longchen hurries away, saying words. Longchen hugs a fist to the Lord of the Temple. The Lord of the Hall nodded and didn't say anything. Longchen looked at the dragon blood soldiers. When they saw Longchen, their eyes turned red. "Good brother, this is not the time to reminisce about the past. We fought all the way from Tianwu mainland and became the first army of Tianwu. Now, we are standing on the land of Fairyland. We are faced with countless arrogance and endless monsters. But I believe that our dragon blood warriors can still stand on the top of the Fairyland, and the first legion of Fairyland still belongs to us." Longchen looked at these blood brothers and cried out excitedly. It belongs to us, the dragon blood soldiers roared. This roar made the world change color. Even the lord of the temple could not help but be moved. As soon as the dragon blood soldiers opened their mouths, the invincible will made the way of heaven throb. It was the voice that even the way of heaven had to fear. The dragon blood soldiers have been following the dragon dust for a long time. They have been fighting against the way of heaven all the time. They have never given in to the way of heaven. That kind of will is not comparable to the ordinary pride. Their strength may not be the strongest, but their will is definitely stronger than anyone else. Let's go. Today is the first day of the reorganization of our dragon blood army. Let's show the world the elegant demeanor of our hot-blooded men from Tianwu mainland. Long Chen yells. With a wave of Long Chen's big hand, the dragon blood soldiers immediately follow Long Chen and walk to the broad steps. As the dragon dust moved, the disciples of Lingshao Academy and the Temple of War God also went out. The team was like a long dragon and a sharp blade, pointing directly at the Holy King's challenge arena. Damn, this boy can really cheat. These boys are so stunned by him. No wonder my daughter has been recruited. Looking at the dragon blood soldiers, after seeing the dragon dust, their eyes were full of excitement. One by one, their blood was boiling. Bai Zhantong could not help muttering, "That's not cheating. That's personal charm. That's the highest level of being a commander-in-chief." Lao Bai, you can't be so narrow-minded that you even envy your son-in-law, the deputy hall master couldn't help saying. I'm jealous of him? It's a joke. I haven't paid attention to his strength. Bai Zhantong disdains the tunnel. We have been brothers for many years, but we can't be ungrateful in some words. Long Chen is the most outstanding young man I have ever seen in my life. Talent, strength, character are not said, can make so many strong willing to die, has proved his excellence. Even if these are nothing, they have been put on the post of president at a young age. Ilgo. No, I said Lao Bai, you're trying to seduce me to say this. You don't look down on Long Chen at all. You're a different kind of show-off. The deputy hall master suddenly felt that something was wrong. He looked up and down at Bai Zhantong and said, "Cut, it's nothing." Bai Zhantong quickly denied. However, the temple master didn't believe it. Now he understood that this guy was showing off. While the people were talking, Long Chen had led them to the steps, and in front of the steps, a group of people were standing neatly. These people are like nails in the same place, but when Long Chen comes, these people salute Long Chen together. It turns out that these people are not others. They are the disciples of Xinghe sect. 8 million disciples of Xinghe sect have been quietly waiting for the appearance of Long Chen. When this scene was seen by the strong people of Lingshao Academy, they all looked shocked. Most of them didn't know the relationship between Long Chen and Xingezong. Now I see 8 million disciples of Xinghe sect. They are so surprised that their eyes are about to fall down. You know, so far, the whole Terran has the largest number of disciples in Fairyland, and no one dares to offend them. Seeing this scene, Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother both show a smile with a touch of pride. The people who can be recognized by so many people, poetry also has vision. As mothers, they are also happy and proud of Bai Shi. Although Bai Zhantong looks dismissive on the surface, as long as he is not a fool, he knows that his expression is made up. When Long Chen came, the disciples of Xinghe sect followed Long Chen closely. They took the lead of Long Chen and attracted countless forces. Well, what if there are too many people? It's just a mob. Long Chen and others had just stepped up the steps when a sneer came from the side. When Long Chen turns his head, his eyes suddenly become cold. The group of people are wearing purple clothes. The leader, a man and a woman, is the Purple Blood Su family who had a festival with Long Chen before. The sneer came from the woman named Su Shiner. As soon as she opened her mouth, Bai Xiaola was furious, and her eyes were cold. Last time, she robbed Zitong Nine-Tailed Fox, which almost made him lose a pair of eyes. He always remembered this hatred. Are you in such a hurry to be reincarnated? If I can't wait, I'll help you now. The last hatred, Long Chen always remember. If it wasn't for purple blood last time, Long Chen would have been a killer. Now this woman is still provoking. Long Chen's fire will come up all of a sudden. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4200. There are not many people in the Purple Blood Sioux family, only more than 20,000 people, but everyone is the elite of the elite, one by one with purple spirit and amazing prestige. They walk past Long Chen and others. Seeing that Long Chen has such a great reputation, Su Shiner is upset and directly sneers. And Long Chen's words directly sharpen the contradiction. Long Chen to that disgusting woman played the heart of killing. I don't know why. Seeing the Purple Blood Sioux family, Long Chen is more and more disgusted. That kind of disgust seems not because Su Shiner hurt by Xiaola, but from the depths of his soul or blood. Don't be ashamed to think that you can bully the Sioux family if you have too many people. You are too naive. Why don't you join us? I'll let Su Yifeng fight you all alone. The man beside Su Shiner sneered. The man who calls himself Su Yifeng is more arrogant than Su Shiner. He points at Long Chen and others, and his eyes are full of contempt. All of a sudden, Su Yifeng's provocation makes everyone angry. Guoran and others show their intention to kill. New and old grudges rush to their hearts. They haven't settled the accounts with them last time. These guys are coming again. Who can bully them? Dare to challenge my boss. You really don't know how to write dead words. At this time, the light around was obviously bright, and then a big man with a long gun and a big iron tower came over. There was no grass on the big man's head. The sun was shining on his bald head. There were countless strong people around him, but he was able to stand out and let people see him at a glance. Guyong boss. When he saw the bald man, the dragon blood soldiers cheered. The man was no other than Guyong. At this time, Gu Yang is stronger than he was in the 3000 world at the beginning, and people seem to grow taller. His whole body is full of qi and blood, like a restless volcano, which will explode at any time. On Gu Yang's neck, face, arms and other places where he could see, there were tattooed runes, which sent out terrible waves. Gu Yang is just like a beast in the shape of human. As soon as it appears, the fury makes it difficult for countless people to breathe. Boss, let me have this guy. Let me practice one for my brothers to help them have fun. Gu Yang looks at Long Chen, excited tunnel. Gu Yang, you are not right. As the head of the first army, you should be modest. Let our brothers do this kind of thing. At this time, someone laughed like thunder. Two figures came over. Each step they took, a ripple appeared on the earth. The power of thick earth stirred, soul stirring. Li Qi and Song Mingyuan are not the other two. They are both here. Like Gu Yang, they have runes on their faces, necks and arms. Seeing that Li Qi and Song Mingyuan are also here, Long Chen and others are very happy and finally meet again. To Long Chen's surprise, Long Chen can see at a glance that the runes on the three people have the flavor of Jiuli Xianwen of the early generation. Obviously, they all have their own adventures. See the eldest brother. When the three come, they look at each other and smile. There is a strong feeling of brotherhood in their eyes. They salute Long Chen at the same time. Long Chen said with a smile, "My brother, don't be so polite. It's very good. Today our Dragon Blood Army is officially reorganized. It's time to let the name of the Dragon Blood Army resound through 9 days and 10 places." Ha ha ha. Gu Yang, Li Qi, and Song Mingyuan burst into laughter, as if they were back to the era of Tianwu. Boss, it's not good to reorganize before I come back. At this time, a voice came. Long Chen and others looked back and saw a man with a long sword. There was no breath of a practitioner in his body, but it could bring soul-stirring palpitation. He's like a walking sword. If anyone dares to get close to him, his soul will be cut off by the blade, which makes people feel awed. Ha, Zifeng, you are the latest to appear every time. Gu Yang laughed. Isn't that normal? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the head of the fourth army. Only when I'm the fourth one, can I be in the right order. Yu Zifeng said with a smile. I'll go and you'll laugh? Ha ha. Gu Yang and others laughed, as if they saw the sun coming out from the west. But I still think it looks better when you don't smile. Guoran smiles. Yu Zifeng was not angry either. He came to Long Chen and saluted him, Boss, this time, we must kill him. Well, damn it. Today we announced to 9 days and 10 places that the Dragon Blood army is rising strongly, and no one can stop us. Long Chen was also infected, excited tunnel. In the past, he was still thinking about how to hide his strength, but now, it seems that he has returned to the era of Tianwu. He is not afraid of heaven and earth. The second master of heaven, my eldest brother's Long Chen, is back. Last time, we met in 3,000 worlds, the time was too short, but now it's different. They finally got together. This time, they want to turn the world upside down. Long Chen and others get together, excited, and even forget the provocation of Su Jiaqiang. A group of mobs dare to talk nonsense? It's ridiculous. The cowhide is blowing so loud that I dare to fight. I haven't killed anyone for many days. My hands are itching. Su Yifeng cold tunnel. Su Yifeng is angry. As the supreme pride of the Su family, he has the purest purple blood. The purity of his blood can almost catch up with his ancestors. When Su family came to the Holy King meeting this time, they were determined to win the title of Holy King. If they wanted to win the title of Holy King, they had to defeat all kinds of experts. Su Yifeng was ready to pave the way with his bones. In fact, on the way here, Su Yifeng and Su Shiner have killed countless strong men. Therefore, the Su family disciples are extremely angry. In Xingwang State, they have been restrained, otherwise when Su Shiner robbed Zitong Nine-Tailed Fox, they would all do it. Now, Long Chen and others regard Su Jiaqiang as the heir. All Su Jiaqiang are angry. In their life, they have never seen anyone dare to ignore them. Long Chen and others just remember that there are still people in the Su family to deal with. Long Chen turns his head and looks at them. At this time, Luo Bing and Luo Ning are a little nervous. In fact, they still hope that we can live in peace. After all, they are all in the same blood. There is no need to kill each other for the sake of one breath. However, the people of the Su family are aggressive, and they all know Long Chen's temper, so they are full of worry, but there is no way. Are you the traitors of the Purple Blood clan? Long Chen suddenly asked. Long Chen asked, Luo Bing and Luoning were startled, but the strong men of the Su family changed their faces. Choking, all the Su Jiaqiang drew out their weapons, and Moring's killing intention broke out in an instant. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4201. This is a problem that has been hovering in Long Chen's mind for a long time. There was purple blood flowing in Long Chen's body. According to reason, he would only be close to purple blood and would not reject it. In the Luo family, Long Chen can feel the call of blood, but in the Su family, Long Chen can only feel disgust and rejection. However, Long Chen has no evidence, but this does not delay Long Chen to make a bold guess. As a result, once Long Chen said this, the strong man of Su family's face suddenly changed and his killing intention soared to the sky. Fart, what are you? You dare to blaspheme my purple blood. Let's die. Su Yifeng was very angry, and his whole body was full of purple air. Long Chen, the Holy King's meeting is about to start. You still have leisure to make trouble here. At this time, a beautiful voice came, followed by a woman, colorful clothes floating like a cloud. It was Jiang Fengfei, who was not the other person. Hundreds of thousands of Jiang's disciples came slowly by her side. There were 4 people who were side by side with Jiang Fengfei. Fengfei is Tianjiao that the Jiang family focuses on cultivating. Her strength is amazing, and she is also the top of all the supreme Tianjiao. And those 3 people, whose breath is similar to Fengfei, are in the same rank, which shows that they all exist at the same level. When Fengfei comes, she doesn't look at the purple blood Su family at all, and even turns a blind eye to Su Yifeng, who is going to fight. Instead, she smiles and greets Long Chen. Long Chen stall hands, some helpless way. You know, I never make trouble, our others make me. Come on, let's go. If you have any grudges, you'd better stay in the challenge arena. It's very difficult to distinguish between the superior and the inferior when outsiders intervene here. Why waste time? If you miss the entrance and are rejected by the challenge arena, it's a pity. I've been looking forward to your performance. Feng Fei's face was smiling and full of expectation. Who are you? Looking at Jiang Fengfei and Long Chen warmly greeting, Bai Shishir coldly said. Feng Fei saw Bai Shishi's vigilant face and said with a smile, I've known Long Chen for a long time. Didn't she tell you? Hey, don't talk nonsense. Long Chen sees Bai Shishi's face change and says in a hurry that Feng Fei wants to harm him. Cluck cluck. Seeing Long Chen's nervous face, Feng Fei giggled. She covered her lips and said with a smile, I can't imagine that the heroes who are proud of the world and look down on the masses in Tianwu, the secular world, are scared. It's really funny. Long Chen, who is she? Bai Shishir said coldly that Feng Fei's words and actions made her feel uncomfortable and provocative. Damn, it's really killing. Long Chen doesn't know how to explain it, because he has nothing to do with Feng Fei. But once he explains, he feels that he has something. Elder sister, don't worry. I just appreciate Long Chen. I don't want to touch him. Besides, this guy has a lot of experience. I don't want to wade in muddy water. Jiang Fengfei said with a smile. Jiang Fengfei said, to Long Chen's smile, also playfully blinked his eyes, and then with people from Long Chen and Su family in front of. Long Chen, who is this guy in the end? He looks very arrogant. Bai Shishir can't help but ask, women's jealousy is very strong, especially Feng Fei looks beautiful, let Bai Shishir alert. This. Long Chen didn't know how to explain for a moment. Shishir, this woman is deliberately digging a trap for Long Chen. The purpose is to let you find out the root of the problem, and you will be deceived. Yu Qingxian said with a smile. After listening to Yu Qingxian's words, Long Chen immediately wants to hold Yu Qingxian and kiss her. Qingxian is still a sensible girl. Bai Shishir, a smart girl, looks very stupid. I'm not going to be fooled. It seems that Bai Shishir has finally turned around. But just finished, Bai Shishir couldn't help asking, do you know her in the world? Long Chen almost fell to the ground. Once a woman is infected with emotion, she is no different from a fool. However, Yu Qingxian laughs and pulls Bai Shishir away, so as not to let her continue to ask, so as to avoid the embarrassment of Long Chen. And after Jiang Fengfei such a stir, Long Chen's killing intention is also a lot lighter, just as Jiang Fengfei said, it's meaningless to shoot here. After all, the old friends of the Su family are still watching over there, unless Long Chen can kill him with a move, but Long Chen thinks it's a bit unrealistic. Let's go. Long Chen is too lazy to see the people of the Su family. Although he is not sure whether the people of the Su family are traitors of purple blood, no matter whether they are or not, as long as they dare to provoke him, they will be killed. Do you agree? The strong man of the Su family sneers. However, Long Chen didn't pay any attention to them. Gu Yang and others frowned and didn't say anything. They talked and laughed and went straight to the challenge arena. What a pity, just a little bit. Seeing that Long Chen walked to the challenge arena, the Lord of the Hall looked sorry. Bai Zhantang and another Lord of the Hall looked at each other. They all knew how much the Lord of the Hall wanted Long Chen to fight, so he had a reason to fight. Long Chen didn't know that the Lord of the Temple longed for him. He walked side by side with Gu Yang and others and walked up the stairs. After climbing the ladder, as Long Chen expected, there are array blessings on the ladder, which increases the difficulty of moving forward. However, for Long Chen and others, this kind of power has no feeling at all. Long Chen inquires about the situation of the people. It turns out that Gu Yang, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan were all brought by their master. Their inheritance is very old, and they have their own immortal totem. And they all practiced in the same way. With the help of their master, they directly and violently printed the immortal script on their bodies. In this way, even if the king's assembly is over, they can also understand by themselves. Although it looks a little ugly, it helps them a lot. It is said that after their understanding of runes, they will be depicted in their blood. It is said that their master spent a lot of effort and even spent Shouyuan to create opportunities for them. Yu Zifeng is different from them. The place where he inherits is only a sword tomb. All the sword practitioners can understand by themselves. When asked about the harvest, Yu Zifeng just smiles and says nothing. Boom. When Long Chen and others walked forward for a while, suddenly the whole arena left the land, and endless sea water poured into the surrounding of the arena. Then the dark blue water curtain rose, forming a water shield to cover the whole challenge arena. At this moment, it was equivalent to isolating the challenge arena from the land. When the blue water curtain shrouded in that moment, Long Chen's face slightly changed. Aware that Long Chen's face was different, Bai Shishir could not help asking, "What's the matter?" "I have a bad feeling." Long Chen looked at the blue light curtain in the sky, and his eyes became sharp. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4202 Boss, what? Is there anything wrong? Gu Yang and others were shocked to see that Long Chen's face was so serious. They know more about Long Chen's spiritual sense than anyone else. The eldest brother says that he has a bad feeling. "I'm afraid that something big will happen. I don't know. In a word, danger is coming quietly. Everyone should be careful. By the way, it's yours." As Long Chen talks, he suddenly pats his head and thinks of something important. A long gun appears in Long Chen's hand. When he sees the long gun in Long Chen's hand, Gu Yang's eyes suddenly light up and his voice trembles with excitement. "Boss, is this for me?" You know, Gu Yang's long gun is just a boundary artifact. It's also a medium to upper level artifact in the boundary artifact. It's not even the best one. And Gu Yang's power has been soaring. Long wanted to replace this long gun, but has not found a suitable weapon. This time, after his body was branded with Jili Xianwen, his strength soared again. His long gun has been far behind his needs. Now when he saw the long gun, he immediately felt the terrible fluctuation of the long gun. What excited him was that the tremendous fighting spirit in the long gun resonated with him. "No, not for you, but to entrust it to you. You should treat it well. From today on, it will be your partner in life and death." Long Chen holds a gun in both hands and solemnly hands it to Gu Yang. Gu Yang stretched out his hands and took the long gun in a precious and important place. At the moment when he took the long gun roared, and the rune on Gu Yang's body gradually lit up. Gu Yang's whole body is full of qi and blood. It's like a volcano about to erupt. There's a violent fluctuation. Gu Yang has a soul call with the long gun. Obviously, the spirit of the long gun and Gu Yang's soul attract each other. When Gu Yang holds the long gun, he feels like flesh and blood. "Don't worry, boss. I will never let it down." Gu Yang holds a long gun and excites himself. The spear flew to Gu Yang's back automatically, and Gu Yang's spear, which was originally carried on his back, was smashed in an instant, showing his hegemony. When the spear was carried by Gu Yang behind him, his whole momentum was different. He was in a state of unity of man and spear. Their fluctuations were adapting to and merging with each other. Long Chen was also a little excited. He pulled this long gun out of the body of the ancient winged devil. At that time, it had set up its will to die with the winged devil. But now, it once again blooms the glory of immortal magic weapon, inspired the great war spirit. With this long gun, Gu Yang's strength, I don't know how much to improve. Unfortunately, in Long Chen's hands, there is no weapon that Li Qi and Song Mingyuan can use, but not everyone can control the immortal magic weapon. In Long Chen's hands, there are several pieces of waste products, which are handed over to Xia Chen and Guoran to study. Long Chen pats Gu Yang on the shoulder and gives him the long gun, so Long Chen can rest assured. Long Chen suddenly saw Mu Qingjian's face in the crowd was different, and suddenly a strange color appeared on his face. He said to Yu Zifeng, "Zifeng, let me introduce you. This is Mu Qingyun." As Long Chen spoke, he waved to Mu Qingyun. Then Mu Qingyun came out timidly and saluted Yu Zifeng. Qingyun met the elder. Yu Zifeng nodded his head and said, "Your kendo has just begun to find its way. However, all the kendo you have learned is to pick up other people's wisdom and have nothing of your own. If you don't have your own true feelings, there will be two problems. One is that it's hard to walk, and the other is that it's hard to go far." Thank you for your instruction. In the face of Yu Zifeng's guidance, Mu Qingyun was a little excited and saluted Yu Zifeng again. "Qingyun, Zifeng is a master of kendo. You need to learn more, Long Chen said with a smile. After hearing Long Chen's words, Yu Zifeng was stunned and then said, "You've just seen the way. As long as you can make your own route clear and understand your own kendo, it shouldn't be a big problem. You can follow me." "Thank you, master." When Mu Qingyun heard Yu Zifeng's words, his face was filled with ecstasy. But Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir look at each other, and a strange color appears in their eyes. They can see that Long Chen intends to match them. However, their reaction did not seem to be mutual affection, but a bit of apprenticeship. Mu Qingyun, with a look of joy, stood behind Yu Zifeng. Her eyes were full of excitement. "Let's go." Long Chen and others continue to walk to the steps. At this time, Long Chen and others have already rushed up because they have stayed for a while. They are the last batch. However, the ladder is too long, and the more upward, the greater the pressure. Every step is very difficult. Even the top players are only in the middle. There is still a long way to go. As Long Chen walks, he looks at the blue light curtain in the sky. Long Chen finds that with the passage of time, the blue light curtain is getting thicker and thicker, and there are strange waves, which are moving closer to the dome. When more than an hour has passed, Long Chen and others have been moving forward at a constant speed. With the increasing pressure, many people have begun to lose strength and have to slow down. And Long Chen and others, at this time while part of the people away, went to the middle of the long dragon. Long Chen and others don't have any feelings. So do the dragon blood soldiers. After all, they have experienced a lot of similar situations. This pressure is nothing to them. The disciples of Xinghe sect are also excellent. So far, no one has felt uncomfortable. However, in Lingshao Academy, some people begin to feel tired, panting and sweating. But the disciples of the Temple of God of War were all energetic and full of vigor without any pressure. Poof! As Long Chen continues to move forward, suddenly there is a person beside him who gushes blood. It is obvious that the man is of average strength, but he rushes forward desperately in order to fight for breath. As a result, his breath is confused and he gushes blood. At the moment when the man spat out blood, Long Chen's face changed. He saw that the blood fell on the steps and disappeared strangely, as if it had been absorbed by some force. When Long Chen looked at the sky, he found that there were more bloody lines on the light curtain. Is it? Long Chen's eyes, with a touch of shock, that kind of uneasy feeling more and more intense. "Brother, are you okay? If you can't, just have a rest. Don't force yourself too much. There is a kind advice nearby. Anyway, I can't die in the challenge arena. I must see where my potential is." The man bit his teeth and stood up again. He took a deep breath, roared, and rushed to the front. When he rushed up more than 10 steps, a shocking scene happened. Boom! The man's body burst into pieces and turned into a blood mist. The moment the blood mist broke out, it was absorbed by the invisible force and disappeared, as if nothing had happened. At this time, countless people's faces changed, and people finally realized that it was wrong. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4203, How Can It Be Like This? It's in the Holy King's trial now. The challenge arena hasn't been opened yet. It's impossible to die? If it is eliminated, it will be sent out? How could anyone die? Some people scream, a face of disbelief at the same time, in their eyes, also with the color of fear. I'm not going to attend this assembly. Someone panicked and started running down the steps. Boom! As a result, the moment he looked back, he seemed to hit a wall, and there was a loud explosion. The man with weapons broke up and turned into a blood fog. At that moment, the faces of countless strong people on the challenge arena and in Xinguang State changed. How could this session of Xinguang Conference be different from the previous Xinguang Conference? It is not only the Terran side that has problems, but also other channels that have the same problems. The weak begin to die. After the death of those people, their blood mist will be absorbed by the mysterious power. On the purple light mask, the blood lines begin to deepen gradually, as if these blood were absorbed by them. How could that be? When did the rules of the king's assembly become so cruel? Is there only one way out for the weak to be eliminated? Someone yelled in surprise and anger. But no one answered him, because all of them looked at the Holy King Challenge Arena with a look of horror, and the faces of Bai Shishi's mother and Bai Shaole's mother also changed. The president said that this session of the king's assembly is very strange. Has he already seen something? Bai Shishi's mother couldn't help saying. The president came, but soon disappeared. He just told everyone to take a careful look at this Holy King's meeting, but he didn't say anything else. Now seeing this scene, Bai Shishi's mother is full of worries. At the moment, the challenge arena has been shrouded, and they can't support Long Chen and others. The same is true for other forces. If they are eliminated, they will be killed by the law. How many people will survive in such a big challenge arena? How many people will die here? For a moment, countless forces could not sit still, and some even began to try to get close to the challenge arena. Boom, an inborn heaven power inspires a divine light, which falls on the blue light curtain and bursts in an instant. It's like an egg bumping against the city wall, and the blue light curtain doesn't even move. In front of it, the full force of heaven's power seems so insignificant. At that moment, countless people's hearts sank. Although some people think that they are stronger than the congenital god, but the strength is limited. His all-out strike is just like tickling. No matter how powerful others are, they can't do anything but watch. The older generation of strong people outside the challenge arena are very anxious, and the disciples on the challenge arena are even more frightened, with a look of fear. Where is the challenge arena? It's a trap to kill us. There was a lot of abuse. Trap. When Long Chen heard these two words, he felt awe-inspiring. He looked at the big array covering the whole challenge arena, and his eyes narrowed. Boss, what should we do? Guoran asked. Don't walk too fast or disperse. The strong and the weak join in. The pressure here is not concentrated. We can fight against the pressure together. Long Chen rode. When Long Chen said this, the dragon blood soldiers, the disciples of the war temple and the strong men of Xinghe's sect immediately took action. Strong people, come to the weaker people, as Long Chen said, the pressure of the weak suddenly reduced. At this time, countless strong people see this scene, eyes are full of pleading color, but they dare not speak. If you don't want to take risks, come with us. Long Chen looks at those people and can't help saying, these people are not strong, and powerful people will not let them borrow light from themselves. Long Chen's words filled them with gratitude. When Long Chen speaks, tens of millions of disciples come close to Long Chen and stay close to his team. They can reduce a lot of pressure. In order to be on the safe side, Long Chen didn't speed up, but waited for some of the disciples behind. Long Chen knew that if they left, all the weaker disciples would die. Long Chen couldn't help them. When the strong in Xinguang's state saw this scene, some people praised it, others sneered at it, and some people thought that Long Chen's helping the weak was a narrow sense and a gentleman's style. Some people think that Long Chen's action is the benevolence of women, wasting the physical strength of the strong. If he takes so many people with him, if he can't rush to the challenge arena, everyone will die. This is extremely stupid. Among the strong members of the human race, there are different opinions on Long Chen's practice, and some people even laugh at each other and scold each other because of their different opinions. However, the people in the group could not see the situation outside, let alone hear their voices. Long Chen is not a meddler, but as a human he can't be helpless. As for what others think, Long Chen never cares. He just acts according to his own heart and does whatever he wants. Other people's opinions are bullshit to him. Long Chen takes people all the way forward. The more they go forward, the greater the pressure, but everything is within the range of bearing. Long Chen and others walked very slowly. They were the last group in the terrain. Because people kept joining, the team became bigger and bigger. In the middle and later periods, the number of disciples has exceeded 80 million. Many of these 80 million disciples are dandies. Although they have great talent and strong background, they are afraid of hardship and death, and they are unwilling to work hard in practice. As a result, their foundation is not solid, and their momentum is bluffing, not only bluffing, but also bluffing themselves. They live in their dreams and always think they are top experts, but they are beaten back to their original shape in front of the rules. They have nothing to show off except one identity. If it wasn't for Longchen to take them in, they couldn't go up and down. In the end, they could only wait for the law to kill them. In the middle and late stage, the front challenge arena is already in sight, and countless people have stepped on the challenge arena, but the challenge arena is quiet, and nothing happens at all. Some of the strong men on the challenge arena shout and cheer for Longchen and others, because among the people in Longchen's belt, there are their classmates. There are also some people who have extremely vicious mouths and ridicule these people as rubbish. It's better to die in the challenge arena instead of being shameful. However, most of the people just watched coldly. Although they climbed up to the challenge arena, there was no change in the challenge arena and they were not sent to a certain world for one-on-one showdown. The Terrans occupy 1 foot of the challenge arena. In the distance of the challenge arena, there are also creatures of other races. They are all looking around in a daze. There are irascible people who want to rush to the center of the challenge arena. On top of the challenge arena, there is a border. The people who rush forward bump into the border and burst into pieces. Now no one knows what to do, and can only stand on the challenge arena quietly. At this time, Longchen has stepped on the challenge arena. Longchen, now in the challenge arena, see who can protect you. Today is your time to die. As soon as Longchen stepped into the challenge arena, someone sneered at him. He was no other than a disciple of the Purple Blood Sioux family. Poof! The disciple of the Purple Blood Sioux family had just finished talking when his neck burst open, and the purple blood rose to the sky, and a head disappeared. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4204 Sudden changes so that countless people exclaimed, especially the strong Sioux family, face has changed. Su Yifeng and Su Shinar attack the void one after another. The void bursts and collapses. It's a pity that they both slow down and hit the void. Just then, a head appeared from the air, fell to the ground and rolled all the way to the man's feet. Pung! At this time, the body of the man fell to the ground, his head was facing his neck, but his eyes were dim and his spirit had disappeared. Who is it, come out? Su Yifeng roars, his whole body is full of purple blood, and his intention to kill is overwhelming. Someone kills his purple blood people. This is a declaration of war against their purple blood people. Don't blame me for being rude to Brother Longchen. A cold voice, followed by a petite girl appeared. She was dressed in tight black, exquisite curve, although the face slightly green, but the body has concave and convex. Who are you? Su Shinar saw the girl and yelled, Ingzong, Dongming Jade. The girl opened her mouth and reported her name. At the moment when she reported her name, the figures around her appeared quietly. They are like a group of ghosts. When they appear, they are so abrupt, even people are standing there, but they can't feel their breath. There are men and women in these people, each with a cold face, and there is no emotion in their eyes. When the strong people present see these people, their souls are chilly. Ingzong. Some people can't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. Ingzong is known as the strongest killer in 9 days. Compared with them, the Blood Killing Hall and the Juyo Hall have to stand aside. Other killers kill and kill, while the killers of Ingzong are the most terrible killers. They are known as killers among killers. In the past, people have only heard of the existence of Ingzong, but have never seen its killers. They only exist in legends. Now, even Su Yifeng and Su Shinar can't stop Dongminji's killing. People finally see the style of Ingzong killers. With the appearance of those shadow disciples, although there are only a few hundred people, their silent appearance makes countless people scared. These people are like ghosts who come and go without a trace, as if they can appear behind them at any time and cut off their heads with their daggers. Looking for death, what is Shadow Clan? Will my purple blood Sioux family be afraid of you? Su Yifeng roared. It's you who are looking for death. At this time, a sneer came, followed by countless people out of a way, and then saw a group of men and women in blue came. The first one, with his light clothes fluttering, long hair flying and lotus steps moving, is like a fairy coming into the world. With the circulation of the wind blade, there are black lines in the void, which is the vision that the void is cut open by the wind blade. It's not difficult for the super strong to break the void, and it's nothing to split the void. But like this woman, the wind blade cuts the void silently, which makes countless strong people turn pale. This shows that the woman's control of the wind power has reached the extreme. The wind blade moves with her heart, and it is impossible to prevent. The most terrible thing is that these wind blades are not her intentional summon, but the vision formed by the wind force in heaven and earth naturally closing to her. As soon as this woman appeared, countless people were moved, and hundreds of strong people behind her were all strong people of wind system. You know, strong people of wind system are very rare. Who are you? Su Shiner, surprised and angry, cheered coldly. Fengzong, Tang Weiner. The woman is no other than Tang Weiner. After reporting her name, she looks at Su Shiner and says, "You are shameless. Why are you aiming at Longchen?" Said, "Do you want to use such a way to attract the attention of Longchen? Then you use the beauty trick to seduce Longchen. Everyone knows that Longchen is lustful and playful, and you can easily succeed, right?" Speaking of later, Tang Weiner gritted her teeth, as if she really wanted to bite. Su Shiner was confused by the sudden change. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Long Chen and others were surprised and pleased to see Dong Minjiu and Tang Weiner appear, so they were ready to meet each other. As a result, with Tang Weiner's words, Long Chen almost didn't lie on the ground. Familiar formula, familiar taste. Guo Ran's face is strange, but he has no choice. Originally, Tang Weiner appeared, and Guo Ran and others were shocked by her terrible strength. They even felt that Tang Weiner was too terrible at this time, which made them a little strange. But now Tang Weiner's words, the familiar taste is back. It is a strong acetic acid taste, even stronger than before. You, what are you talking about? Su Shiner is both surprised and angry. She is so noble that she can seduce anyone? Look at you, you can't speak easily, and you don't think so? You bad woman, you come here and we'll fight each other. Tang Weiner points at Su Shiner and scolds. Su Shiner is so confused and angry that she is about to explode. She has been scolded as a bad woman who seduces people. It's the first time that she's grown up. Moreover, the eyes of countless people around her looked at her strangely, as if they had already sat down on Tang Weiner's words, which made her tremble with anger. What happened to Fengzong? Since you want to die, I will help you. Su Shiner roars. At this time, she can't take care of her family style, and she has a murderous look on her face. It depends on whether you have that ability or not. At this time, another voice came. When that voice came, everyone's eardrum was painful, as if the eardrum had been frozen. All of a sudden, people felt that the world became cold for a moment, and then they saw white snowflakes flying in the void, and the earth began to frost. Creak, creak. When the sound of footwork came, people gave way one after another. Then they saw a group of people coming over. The first one was in white, and he was very beautiful. On her white skin, she exudes a strange luster. She is beautiful and beautiful. She is like a flawless ice goddess, perfect and impeccable. When she sees that woman, Long Chen's body trembles with excitement. Ice Emperor Pulse Yijiqiu. Without waiting for the Su family to speak, the woman reported herself to her family, and countless people took a breath of air. Ice Emperor? Isn't that archaic? Some people exclaim that it is said that the Ice Emperor has long been extinct, but now there are Ice Emperor descendants. Xiaoyu, Sister Jiqiu, don't argue with me. I'll teach this shameless woman a lesson. Tang Weiner to the two humanity, put forward a pair of to fight to the end with Su Shiner posture. Su Shiner is very angry. Although she knows that Ingzong, Fengzong and Binghuang are not easy to be provoked, she is proud and does not allow her to shrink back. She takes a step and is about to speak when suddenly a figure comes like lightning. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4205. Everyone was startled. The speed of the figure was so fast that the figure went straight to Tang Weiner. The strong men of Fengzong were all surprised. They thought that the figure was going to do harm to Tang Weiner. Just as they were about to do it, they heard a voice full of surprise. "Sister Weiner, I miss you so much." All of a sudden, a young girl appeared and rushed into Tang Weiner's arms. Tang Weiner also exclaimed in surprise, "Xiao Yun, that person is no other than Xiao Yun." Xiao Yun always has a very good relationship with Tang Weiner. The main reason is that Tang Weiner always has a child's personality, which is very similar to Xiao Yun, so Xiao Yun has the best chat with Tang Weiner except Mingqi. Xiao Yun hugs Tang Weiner's neck excitedly and kisses Tang Weiner's face. He is as excited as a child. "Good sister, you have a rest next to me. My sister will beat someone." Tang Weiner pats Xiao Yun on the shoulder. "Who will my sister beat?" "Xiao Yun will help you." Hearing that Tang Weiner was going to fight, Xiao Yun Dun got excited. "Sisters, what's the matter? We have to fight as soon as we meet. Is this to celebrate our reunion?" Just at this time, the pleasant sound like fairy music came. Then everyone's eyes lit up and saw a beautiful figure coming. Originally, there was a lot of violence here. However, with the arrival of that woman, the whole world seems to have been immortalized. When they saw that woman's face, the women present felt ashamed. They never thought that there should be such a beautiful woman in the world. She is graceful, gorgeous, people in front of her, but it makes people feel unreal. She seems to be out of the picture of the 9 immortals, no cannibalism, her noble holiness, as if she should not belong to this dirty world. "Sister Mingqi, it's not someone else, it's Mingqi." When seeing Mingqi, Tang Weiner screams with excitement. "Sister Mingqi." Tang Weiner pours into Mingqi's arms and shouts. Her voice chokes. It seems that a child who has been wronged endlessly has finally found a vent. Mingqi's smile gently stroked Tang Weiner's hair, soft voice. "Well, today is our reunion day, we should be happy." Then Mingqi leaned over Tang Weiner's ear and said in a low voice, "Well, Long Chen has only made one friend since he came to Fairyland for so long, which means that he has been very restrained and should learn to be content." Mingqi knows Tang Weiner very well. When Tang Weiner sees so many women around Long Chen, she overturns the vinegar jar. She is full of fire and has no place to go, so she finds fault with Su Xiner. Because there are not only Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir, but also Mu Qingyun, Luo Bing, Luo Ning, Zhong Ling, Zhong Xiu and many other women around Long Chen. Seeing this scene, Tang Weiner feels sad. She thought that Long Chen had found so many confidants in the Fairyland that she would be very angry. Is this a fight between Tianwu and Fairyland? Really, yes. Originally, Tang Weiner was full of grievances, but when she heard that only one of these strange women was Long Chen's confidant, she felt much more comfortable. People are like this. Happiness comes from comparison. If she comes, she will see that there is only Bai Shishir around Long Chen. She will also be jealous and feel very uncomfortable. But first she saw the worst situation, and then she found that things were not as bad as she saw. She was in a good mood, and even she was not uncomfortable about Bai Shishir. Of course it's true, silly girl. Don't you know who Long Chen is? This guy has always been amorous. He is strong and knows how to please girls. He always attracts bees everywhere. How many women can resist his temptation? The woman in gold has a similar temper with you. In the future, we will all be sisters. Don't play a little temper, so that we won't be embarrassed. Mingqi whispered. Well, I listened to my sister. Tang Weiner nodded cleverly. Among all the sisters, she listened to Mingqi the most. For you. Seeing Mingqi coming, Su Xiner has a strong sense of jealousy in her eyes. Su Xiner is always conceited of her appearance. However, when she meets Bai Shishir, Yu Qingxian, Dong Mingyu, Tang Weiner and Yu Zhiqiu, she becomes less confident. In terms of appearance, she is inferior to other girls. A woman is naturally jealous, but she also has self-confidence. Although her appearance is weak, she has strong strength and background. This kind of frustration can't hit her. But when Mingqi came, such as immortals came into the world, especially her noble temperament, let all women are eclipsed. Mingqi's arrival, even the Su family's strong, all looked straight eyes, a face of shock color, is obviously convinced by Mingqi's temperament. The whole audience, both men and women, were overwhelmed by Menki's noble temperament and unique beauty. Su Xiner's anger could no longer be suppressed, and her eyes were cold. In the face of Su Xiner's inquiry, Menqi shook her head slightly and said, "I'm a nobody. If you don't report my name, I'm Longchen's fiancé. If you have anything to do, just ask for my husband." Menqi's words, as if the voice of countless heartbreak, such a peerless fairy, even has a master. "Little sister Bai Shirshir, I've met your sisters." At this time, Bai Shirshir bit her teeth and took a step forward to salute Mengqi and others. Mengqi and others hastened to return the gift. Mengqi lovingly holds Bai Shishi's hand and says, "In the past, the 3,000 worlds were separated. I miss you so much. Come on, I'll introduce you to other sisters." With these words, Mengqi pulls Bai Shi aside and introduces Dong Minjiu, Tang Weiner, Yi Zhiqiu and Xiao Yun to Bai Shi one by one. At the same time, Yu Qingxian is also brought in. Mengqi is especially concerned about Yu Qingxian. However, Dong Minjiu, Yi Zhiqiu and Mengqi do not mention anything about Tianwu mainland. At the beginning, in order to wake up Longchen, Yu Qingxian expressed the pain of reincarnation for thousands of generations. At that moment, everyone's heart was broken. They all knew that Longchen didn't mention the past, but wanted to make up for her debt and not let her have any burden. The girls got together and had a good talk. The atmosphere was very harmonious. From time to time, there was a silver bell-like laughter. Seeing this scene, a huge stone in Longchen's heart was put down. Longchen doesn't worry about others, but he worries about Tang Weiner's super vinegar jar. If she makes a little temper, it will make the scene extremely embarrassing. However, he has nothing to do. However, all the women are talking and laughing together. So far, they haven't said a word to Longchen, and they haven't even called. "Boss, it seems that there is nothing wrong with you." Guoran couldn't help saying. "Shut up." Longchen said angrily. "It's time for your dog not to bite and to poke with a stick." The dialogue between Longchen and Guoran is heard by Tang Weiner, who can't help saying, "You are the dog." Longchen knew Wei, this wench now more and more daring, begin to turn a corner to scold. Longchen this fight back, immediately attracted Mengqi and others a smile. This smile, everyone's relationship is pulled closer. Boom, all of a sudden, the challenge arena trembled, and everyone couldn't help looking into the void. Then they saw a shocking scene. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4206 The Void Roared. I don't know when it started. On the blue light curtain, there were cobweb-like bloodlines. The huge cobweb covers the whole border, and the center of the cobweb is facing the center of the challenge arena. Now the whole light curtain is shaking, and the challenge arena is shaking. The cobweb is full of blood. In addition to blood red, there are other different lines. At this time, it is shaking, all the energy is moving towards the center at the speed of the naked eye, and a huge halo appears in the central area, like the eyes of the devil. That roar, it is issued, now that aura seems to be in the accumulation of strength, endless blood surging, the terror of the pressure moving. I know. The rules of the King's Challenge Arena must have changed. The weak don't deserve to live in this world. The weak will always be the stepping stone of the strong. Their blood is the energy used to open the challenge arena of the Holy King. Someone yelled. Although this is only the man's guess, but people cannot find a reason to refute, because the blood gas in the border is too obvious, there are all kinds of colors, it is obvious that the essence and blood of the dead strong are extracted by it. The man yelled, but the faces of the practitioners who followed Longchen changed. If it wasn't for Longchen, they would have died. They come here purely for training. They have a lot of dandies here. They just want to attend the Holy King's meeting. After all, there will be bullies to boast about when they go back. If they don't attend such a grand gathering that may not happen for millions of years, they will feel sorry all their lives. Everyone knows the rules of the King's Assembly. If you are eliminated, you will be sent out of the challenge arena and lose the qualification to compete for the king. But who knows, the rules of the King's Assembly suddenly changed. It's killing people. They almost died here in confusion. Boom! At this moment, the blood aura on the void suddenly trembled, and a blood divine light shot out of the aura like a sharp blade in the core of the challenge arena. With a loud noise, the whole challenge arena vibrated, and several light masks appeared in the space above the challenge arena. It turns out that every channel has a huge light mask, but these light masks are invisible. At this time, because of this blow, cracks appear in these light masks, and people can see them. It was these barriers that prevented people from entering the core area of the challenge arena. Similarly, when Long Chen saw other entrances, he was trapped at the entrance. Just struck that as two peas in the center of the arena, a border appeared in the center of the arena. In that border, there was another arena, which was exactly the same as the king's arena. It seems as two peas of a small world, and it seems to be a miniature of the whole kingdom of kings, because the city surrounding the arena is exactly the same as that of the state of the kings. Bang! There was another loud noise and another heavy blow. It seemed that it was going to open the challenge arena. As a result, after this attack, the border in the middle arena was safe and sound, and the border at the entrance around was smashed. The border is broken, all creatures are free from the shackles, and the strong at each entrance rush to the center of the challenge arena like a tide. Hurry up, don't let other races enter the challenge arena first, we Terrans should seize the opportunity. Some people yell. Now the rules of the assembly have changed. No one knows what will happen, but it's always right to take the lead. Countless strong people rush to the core of the challenge arena like an arrow from the string, while other races also held the same idea, and at one time, strong people from all walks of life swarmed in. However, in terms of speed, the demons and beasts obviously have an advantage. Their speed is faster, and they are close to the center boundary for the first time. Boom boom. When they get close to the border, they attack the border for the first time, trying to open a passage. But their attack could not shake the border, and even some people's weapons were shattered. How could that be? Those powerful monsters were silly, the border could not be broken, and at this time, other races also ran back. Although it is the border of the core area, there are still millions of miles around. The strong of all ethnic groups come and attack the border crazily. This should be a test to see which race is more powerful. Let's do it together. Someone yelled. Other races attack the border crazily, but only a small part of the Terrans attack the border. Even if they attack, they are only exploratory attacks, unlike other races who attack with their lives. But under the attack of these people, the border did not move, just like tickling, and everyone was silly. Brother Longchen, do you want me to try? Longchen and others also came to the border, but Longchen looked at the border, lost in thought, Dongminji said. When Dongminji said that, he had a black dagger in his hand. It was the dagger given to her by Longchen. This dagger is invincible. So far, Dongminji has not met anything that can stop it. However, Dongminji kept this dagger in his collection all the time, and never used it when fighting, because her master told her not to use it until she had to. Now everyone can't do anything about the border. Dongminji wants to use a dagger to see if he can break the border. Everyone can enter the arena at the first time. Don't. Longchen shook his head and stopped Dongmingyu. This is not so simple. I always feel that there is something wrong with this holy king's meeting. Please keep your strength and watch the change. Longchen has checked the boundary. Even if Xiachen doesn't send a message to him, Longchen knows that the array goes deep into the earth and connects the laws of heaven and earth. It's impossible to open it. Unless Dongminji uses the mysterious dagger or Longchen uses the heaven and earth tripod, no one can do any damage to this array. Now the situation is not clear. Longchen doesn't want to reveal his cards. Let's wait and see what happens. Anyway, they are not the only ones who attend the Holy King's meeting. Let's leave it to others to find a way. People try their best to attack the border, and some even suggest that all creatures attack the border from different directions according to a certain rhythm, but it's no use at all. For a moment, everyone becomes irritable. Wait a minute, the essence and blood of the weak is the key to start the battle. Is it? Some people look up at the sky, still quivering blood cobweb. The bloody cobweb was still trembling at this time, but it had no ability to attack again, with a look of powerlessness. With that person's reminder, countless people look to Longchen. Specifically, they look to the weak who follow Longchen. Longchen, it's you who broke the rules and made the arena unable to open. At this time, in the strong camp of the Purple Blood Su family, Su Yifeng stood out, pointed to the dragon dust and yelled. As soon as Su Yifeng said this, those strong people who were rescued by Longchen were both surprised and angry. With Su Yifeng's cold drink, countless strong people of the human race look at Longchen and others one after another. Su Yifeng's voice is so loud that it spreads all over the arena. Other strong people of the human race also look at them one after another. At that moment, Longchen's fist clenched, and the killing opportunities surged in his eyes. Su Yifeng was so vicious that he wanted to kill people with a knife, which pushed them to the opposite side of all creatures. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4207, Kill Them. There was a roar. If they don't die, the challenge arena can't be opened at all. Yes, they should die. It's all the will of God. The weak have no right to live. Everything in the Holy King's challenge arena is calculated. Longchen, you meddle in your own business and break the rules of the challenge arena. As a result, the challenge arena can't be opened. All the creatures in 9 days and 10 places are paying for your mistakes. Among the human race, countless strong people yelled. These people had already had a grudge with Longchen or Lingxiao Academy. Especially in Lingxiao Academy, Longchen expelled many people. They held a grudge. At this time, they seized the opportunity and suddenly became fierce. You nonsense, what? There was a cry behind the dragon dust. His voice trembled, their eyes with fear. They were shocked to find that they wanted to kill them, not the ferocious Warcraft, not the tyrannical monster, but their own kind. They are frightened, angry, and afraid. They are gnashing their teeth. But here, no one can help them turn to their family for help. But here, they can't see the outside world, and the outside people can't interfere in the affairs here. Longchen, it'll give you a chance to kill these useless people and make up for your mistakes. Maybe, everyone will give you a way to live. In the crowd, Su Yifeng's voice overtook the whole audience. His voice was very uncomfortable, but the faces of the disciples behind Longchen changed greatly. They were frightened. Unconsciously, they stepped back a few steps, and even many people began to be on guard secretly. Those disciples looked at Longchen, and other strong people of human race also looked at Longchen, including the strong people of all ethnic groups in the distance. Longchen's face was cold and his eyes were full of murders. It's a bunch of idiots. I don't want to talk to you. Even the Emperor of Heaven can't change what I decide. Since I dare to help them, I dare to bear all the consequences. Anyone who doesn't agree with me will come directly at me. In fact, the essence of the weak is not very useful. I think it is more appropriate to use the blood of the strong to start the battle. Dragon Dust Cold Voice Way. Longchen knows that Su Yifeng is vicious. He not only wants to incite the human race to kill each other, but also wants to make Longchen the target of all races. Under the fury of Longchen, he didn't want to explain. He was full of killing intention in his heart. He had been suppressed for countless times. He didn't want to explain because he saw that there must be absolute force before reasoning. Ha, how arrogant. Do you want to fight against the whole Terran with your own strength? No, is it against all the creatures in the 9 days and 10 lands? Su Yifeng sneered. This guy is so annoying. He deliberately incites hatred. Boss, let me kill him. Even Yu Zifeng, who had always been calm, could not bear it any longer and was determined to kill him. Everyone can see that Su Yifeng is too insidious. He keeps fanning and igniting. Once other people kill him, will they only deal with Longchen? As long as it's a Terran, they'll kill. The most hateful, there are many idiots, also follow the fan fire, at a loss do not know, they will put the whole Terran into a huge crisis. Outside the challenge arena of the Holy King, the strong people of the human race in the Holy King state are very anxious. Originally, The human race is not in harmony with other races. If they arouse public anger and attack in groups, the human race will suffer heavy losses, and even the whole army will be destroyed. But it's no use for them to worry, because they can see the situation inside, but their voice can't be transmitted to the border. I'm afraid there's something wrong with the purple blood Su family. By Shishi's mother, standing on the square, watching Su Yifeng spare no effort to pull hatred for Long Chen. I'm afraid it's not so simple. It's not just him, there are a lot of people in it who have problems and are playing with rhythm in the dark. By Xiaole's mother nodded. Long Chen, are you a man or not? Kill one of them. Kill two and earn one. Seeing that Su Yifeng deliberately provokes trouble, Bai Zhantong is so angry that his lungs are about to explode that he can't help roaring. He doesn't care whether the voice can be transmitted or not, but if he doesn't shout twice, he feels like he's going to be mad. Purple blood Su family, is your son a fool? Is this to kill the disciples of the whole Terran? Finally someone can't help yelling at Zishua. It's a powerful heaven god. His grandson is in the array, and behind Longchen. He is more worried than anyone else, because that grandson is his only blood. If he dies, he will die. Purple blood vein, no palace of their own, they just in a deserted land, delimited a piece of territory for their own. Nowadays, purple blood has been scolded by countless forces, but the strong of purple blood has a cold and arrogant face and doesn't care at all. After being scolded a lot, the strong man with purple blood finally cried out, "Are you blind?" It was the dragon dust that broke the rules of the king's assembly and made the challenge arena unable to open. If the challenge arena can't be opened, how can I win the title of Holy King? The law of practice is the law of the jungle. No one can change it. What kind of sage does Longchen pretend to be? You a group of mole ants, you can only spit. If you don't agree, just fight with me. The roar of the strong in the purple blood Su family is like thunder, shocking people's ears. The words are full of arrogance and arrogance. You are deceiving too much. Some strong people are angry, but they can't help them. Purple blood pulse is too strong. There are hundreds of people in congenital heaven, and tens of thousands of ordinary heaven. Moreover, the breath of ordinary heaven in purple blood pulse is similar to that of ordinary heaven. Even if it is weak, it is only half weak. Purple blood, it is one of the strongest blood in the chaos era. Even if it is a down-to-earth purple blood, they cannot compete. However, the tone of the purple blood Su family made countless people angry. According to the tone of the Su family, not only their disciples should die, but they should also die. The weak are not worthy to live. Lord, you are in charge of Lingxiao Academy. As the representative of the human race, you are also in charge of justice. Someone yelled at Lingxiao Academy. Obviously, before the Lord of the Hall and the Master of the Purple Blood Su family looked at each other across the air, spitting out a word of war, but they startled each other back, causing a great disturbance. It is obvious that the Su family is afraid of the mysterious Lord of the Temple. At this time, the Su family is arrogant and domineering. Someone asks the Lord of the Temple to stand up and speak. For a moment, everyone looked at the Lord of the Temple, and a smile appeared on his face. Then he said something that made everyone say, "The weak are really not qualified to shout." A word from the Lord of the Temple seemed to pour cold water on countless people's hearts. What's the situation? Is the Lord of the Temple afraid of the Su family and afraid to fight against him? When the Lord of the Hall finished speaking, he turned his head and looked at the people of the Su family. His big mouth grinned and showed Senbai's teeth. So, after a while, when the disciples of the Su family are killed, don't shout, otherwise, I'll screw your heads off one by one. www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4208 The words of the Lord of the Temple made the strong men of the Su family change color. This tone was too arrogant and full of contempt. Su family is the inheritor of purple blood and one of the strongest blood in the world. How noble is his status? No one has ever dared to speak to them like this. It's a shame. However, the words of the Lord of the Temple made countless people excited. Obviously, The Lord of the temple despised the purple blood. According to their words, the weak should not live. Their purple blood is also weak, at least in the eyes of the Lord of the temple. The head of the Su family's face was gloomy. It was obvious that the Lord's words made him really angry. Although he was afraid of the Lord, he was not ready to give in. Kill me, Su Jirelang? They'll see who can do that. The owner of the Su family sneered. Obviously, this is the Su family's counterattack against the Lord of the Hall. The Lord of the Hall just smiles and doesn't say anything. Instead, he looks quietly into the challenge arena. At this time, the people in the challenge arena didn't know the situation of the outside world at all. They were still happily begging for dragon dust. Long Chen, you break the rules and make the Holy King's assembly unable to open. If you want to have a little sense of shame, you should kill yourself. Don't you want to be a saint? Don't you want to support the weak? Well, you can use your own blood to open the challenge arena of the Holy King. There is a sneer from the Su family. Yes, you should all die. If you die, the king's challenge arena will open, and the weak don't need to die. Hurry up, there are people of the Su family shouting, and more strong people of the human race are shouting. Boss, do it. I can't help it. Gu Yang clenches his fist, and his eyes are full of murders. It's a trap. The people of the Su family and others deliberately play with rhythm. If we do it, we will be fooled. Mingqi stands beside Longchen, looking at the strong. The trap is not a trap. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care whether it's rhythm or not. I'm just waiting for an opportunity and a reason. Long Chen's face is gloomy, but his eyes are calm. That calm is just like the calm before the storm. Everyone who is familiar with Long Chen knows that after this calm, there will be a terrible storm. You brutes, you don't have to force Brother Longchen. I'm a weak man. Without Brother Longchen, I would have died. I just hope that after I die, you don't embarrass Brother Longchen, otherwise, he'll turn into a fierce ghost and I won't let you go. Suddenly, in the crowd behind the dragon dust, someone stood up. Don't do it. Long Chen was shocked and went straight to the man. But when the man was in the crowd, Long Chen rushed over and immediately shook other people away. As a result, because of these people's blocking, Long Chen's action was still slow. When Long Chen catches the man, his soul has been extinguished, and he really kills himself in a rage. The man is very young and looks a little immature. He must be a proud man at ordinary times. He can't bear such ridicule. Long Chen grabs the man, and his body can't help shaking. At this time, an invisible force comes, and the man's body shrivels rapidly, and all his blood essence is evacuated. As soon as the man died, those who were saved were angry and painful. They felt endless grievances, but they were unable to resist. There are many arrogant people among them. They are so belittled and ridiculed that many of them raise their hands. Stop it all. The roar of Long Chen was like the roar of an angry dragon, which made everyone's ears roar. Long Chen, do you see it? People kill themselves for you. Don't you want to be a hero or a saint? What are you waiting for? Kill yourself. Make your name, ha ha ha. Some of the Su family laughed. Forget it, I can't wait. I can't afford to wait. Long Chen was gnashing his teeth, his eyes were red, and his voice burst out from his teeth. When he looked at the Su family disciple suddenly became stiff, and the terrible killing intention invaded his soul for a moment. Long Chen suddenly opened his big hand and covered it with golden scales. At the same time, a terrible suction came, and the whole body space of the Su family disciples was distorted. Su Yifeng and others were so surprised that they quickly reached for the man. As a result, they only caught a remnant. The man could not help flying to Long Chen. Long Chen's big hand incarnated as Dragon Claw tightly grasped his neck. At that moment, the Su family's disciples were scared out of their wits. In front of Long Chen, his cultivation seemed to have been abolished, and he didn't even have any resistance. How dare a little bipolar supremacy be arrogant and domineering? Don't you Su family members even have a little awe? Long Chen looks at the disciples of the Su family, and his eyes are full of Morin Lung's killing intention. Long Chen, let him go, otherwise. Su Yifeng yelled, but in the middle of it he shut up. Wow. Because the Zus disciple who was caught by Long Chen was so wet in his crotch that he was scared to pee. At that moment, countless people looked at the Zus family, and they could not help but despise. Su Yifeng was so angry that the Su family disciple was scared out of his face. He could not say anything that he had threatened. I am so afraid of death when I ask others to kill myself. I usually think that I am a god who can kill others. When death comes to you, it is so unbearable. Since you cherish the beauty of the world, why can you deprive others of their lives so generously? Are you Zus people human, others are mole ants? Is it necessary to trample on the weak in order to show your strength? You keep saying that the weak is the stepping stone of the strong. Lao Tzu came up from the weak step by step. What do you say the law of the jungle is the law of the world of practice? Let your mother fart. If this is the law, I will declare to this bullshit world today that I want to change the law of this world. Dragon Dust's voice is getting louder and louder. Later, it has become a rolling thunder, shaking heaven and earth, making the wind and cloud change color. This is a declaration of war to the whole world, a declaration of war to the laws of heaven and earth. The void roars, and the whole arena trembles with the oath of Longchen. I, Longchen, have always been passive defense, but from today on, Laozi decided to take the initiative to attack. Today I will sacrifice the world with your blood. Poof, with the fall of Longchen's words, a purple blood flower blooms in Longchen's hands, and the Su family's disciples are crushed by Longchen. Purple blood infects the void. Unlike ordinary people's blood essence, purple blood is absorbed very slowly by heaven. People can see the whole process of blood blooming and disappearing. Longchen, Su Yifeng, Su Shiner and all the Su family's disciples all gave a roar. Longchen was declaring war on the Su family. If one of you Su family is allowed to walk out of this challenge arena alive today, I will kill myself on this challenge arena. Longchen looks at the angry Su Jiaqiang and says something that shocked the whole audience. Then, like a golden lightning, he rushes straight to the camp of the Purple Blood Group. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4209. Since you're looking for death, it'll help you. Seeing that Long Chen killed the Su family's disciples, Su Yifeng was furious, especially the appearance of the Su family's disciples' excrement and urine. He lost all the Su family's faces and he also wanted to kill them. Shall we do it? Sea Dragon Dust rushed out, Guo ran some ready to move. Don't worry, it's not so easy. Get ready for the war. Mengqi said. When Mengqi arrived, Tang Weiner, Bai Shishir, Yu Qingxian, Yu Zhiqiu, and Dongming Yudu all followed her. Like Longchen, Mengqi has the same potential as a leader, but different from Longchen is an outsider, while Mengqi is an introvert. The charm of Longchen's leader lies in his invincible strength and determination to live and die together with his brothers. The charm of Mengqi is that she has been paying in silence, which can't be seen on the surface, but it will make people like her and respect her from the heart. So Mengqi spoke. Guo Ran, the commander-in-chief of the Dragon Blood Army, did not dare to fool around. Just as everyone was talking, Long Chen was alone and rushed to the strong camp of the Purple Blood Su family. It's a good skill to spit out blood. It's obviously you who are picking things up, and you even say I want to die? Let's see who is looking for death. Long Chen sneers, pedals in the void and smashes his fist in the air. Choking. The strong members of the Su family drew out their weapons one after another. He's mine. Don't interfere. I'll screw off his head myself. Su Yifeng gave a loud drink and flew out to fight against Longchen alone. I'll kill you in 10 moves. Su Yifeng sneered. A punch out, on the fist, purple lines flow. The power of a punch, make the world tremble. If you can get in my way, I'll take my head off and give it to you. Long Chen sneers and smashes his fist down. When the dragon dust kills the Su family, all the strong people in the outside world stare at them. You know, Zishua Imai is known as one of the strongest blood vessels in Jiutian Field. Su Yifeng is the strongest disciple of the Su family. People want to see how strong the legendary Zishuem magical power is. Similarly, although Long Chen is not very famous, he comes from the oldest academy in Judianshidi and is the youngest dean in history. If he can sit in this position, he must be the best disciple of Lingshao Academy. One is the strongest monster of purple blood, and the other is the strongest disciple of the ancient college. What kind of fierce battle will the two break out? Their figures became the focus of everyone inside and outside the challenge arena. Countless people were secretly judging who would be stronger. But when they said the 10 moves, all of them took a breath. I'm afraid that they have to tell the difference between life and death. Bang! There was a loud bang. Under the gaze of countless people, the figure of Long Chen and Su Yifeng collided fiercely. Their fists met, the golden and purple rays burst out, and the whole challenge arena trembled. Their fists met. The fierce wind and the fierce pressure forced countless people to step back. The green bricks on the challenge arena were creaking by the strong wind, as if there were invisible sharp blades. The sound was very harsh. A gold and a purple, two kinds of divine radiance mutual agitation, followed by another explosion. The position of the two people from the original tens of feet suddenly burst into tens of thousands of miles. Terrible power. Some people outside the challenge arena exclaimed that this kind of power can almost match the innate heaven. It's obvious that the first punch of the two men before was to test each other, and they didn't break out with all their strength. Now they start to move seriously. Kaka kaka. The green brick on the challenge arena is cracking. This kind of green brick, which is as strong as the boundary artifact, can't bear the strength of the two. How dare you speak out with such strength? In the words of the Su family, you are not worthy to live in the world. Dragon dust fists against the roaring wind, the eyes emerge cold Shenhui. In the face of Long Chen's sarcasm, Su Yifeng sneered, "One move will kill you, that's too boring. Now I only use 10% of my strength, but what about you? You've done your best, 10% power?" The strong people inside and outside the challenge arena are all surprised. They can't believe their ears. Is this guy bragging? 10% power, so terrible? In that case, even Xian Tianzun is not his opponent. Go all out? Well, let's see how I'm doing my best. Boom! Suddenly, the void behind the dragon dust explodes, and a 7-color god ring emerges. When the 7-color god ring appears, the breath of the dragon dust is like a volcanic eruption that has accumulated for hundreds of millions of years. Bang! The challenge arena at the foot of Longchen was smashed and the stones were flying, while Su Yifeng snorted and was shocked back by the power of Longchen. Boom boom! Su Yifeng stepped back 7 steps in a row, each step on the challenge arena, and the green bricks on the challenge arena burst into pieces. Until the 7th step, he stopped drinking, and a big pit burst out of the challenge arena under his feet, which stabilized his body. I finally see the ring of the boss again. When the god ring opens the heaven and earth, showing the holy and magnificent meaning, the dragon blood soldiers clench their fists one by one. This picture arouses their endless fighting spirit. At that moment, the dragon blood soldiers were ebullient, as if they were back to the years when they followed the dragon dust and were invincible in Tianwu. Buzz! The 7 colors of God ring flow, heaven and earth shaking, endless wind raging, dragon dust standing on the arena, just like an invincible god of war, cannot be shaken. It's just a burst of breath which makes Su Yifeng fly. At that moment, countless people are shocked by the power of Longchen. To be a human being, one should know how to be grateful and awe. If one does not have the heart of awe and gratitude, what is the difference between man and animals? The magic ring behind Longchen trembles, feeling the endless power brought to him by the rotation of the 7-color magic ring. Longchen looks at Su Yifeng coldly. Today's 7-color god ring has been full, god ring appears, heaven and earth submit, 10,000 worship, dragon dust even through god ring, perceived some things. However, Longchen has no time to waste. He just wants to kill Su Yifeng. Only by killing Su Yifeng, the challenger, can civil strife be calmed down. Otherwise, when the Terran is in chaos, other forces of all ethnic groups will rush on, and then the Terran will be really finished. Long Chen is not a saint. He didn't want to save everyone, but when the rest of the human race is finished, the Dragon Blood Army will have to face the strong of each race alone. No matter how strong the Dragon Blood Army is, there will be a large area of casualties, which he can't accept. Therefore, Long Chen wants to set an example to others, and the chicken he wants to kill is Su Yifeng. Step on. The magic ring behind Long Chen trembles, and the air covers the sky, so it goes to Su Yifeng step by step. Every time Long Chen's feet fall, it makes countless people's hearts constrict, and even their heartbeat rhythm changes with Long Chen's steps. Haha, it's interesting. All of a sudden, Su Yifeng laughs and doesn't mean to be shocked. It seems that the power of Long Chen makes him very excited. It seems that I have to be serious too. Blue sky stained with purple blood, Su Yifeng stops drinking, and the purple divine light rises to the sky, and Su Yifeng calls out his own vision. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4210 Boom. With the roar of Su Yifeng, the purple chi behind him surges, forming a sea of purple chi. The endless purple chi even flows through the challenge arena and into Xingwang State. As soon as Su Yifeng's vision unfolded, the whole Holy King State suddenly darkened, the purple divine light covered the sky, and endless buildings were sprinkled with purple divine light. It's a terrible vision. It can cross the boundary of the challenge arena. Someone exclaimed. Purple blood is really one of the strongest blood vessels in 9 days and 10 places. When purple chi comes out, who will fight against it? In the area covered by purple chi, the way of heaven obeys, he is the master of this side. It's too strong. This is the real invincible blood. I've never seen a person's vision that can cause such a big stir. Countless people were shocked by the power of Su Yifeng's vision. His vision could penetrate the border. Even the strong men of the older generation were moved. Crossing the border also means that Su Yifeng can draw strength from outside the border. Compared with other people trapped in the border, he has been invincible. Boom! In the vision behind Su Yifeng, there was a roar, a purple ocean roaring, huge waves surging, and the breath was too heavy to breathe. Su Yifeng looks at Long Chen, and Long Chen also looks at Su Yifeng coldly. No, it should be said that he looks at the purple blood vision behind Su Yifeng. Long Chen's eyes are deep, and he seems to fall into some kind of deep thinking. When Su Yifeng saw this picture of Long Chen, he thought that Long Chen was frightened, and a touch of sarcasm gradually appeared in the corner of his mouth. How? That's scary? It's a bit too early. Now I'm only half of my strength. Su Yifeng's words once again made countless strong people feel crazy. Before, Su Yifeng said that he only used 10% of his strength, and many people thought that he was bragging. But now, Su Yifeng just summoned a vision. The terrible pressure made countless people scared. His breath was dozens of times higher than before. This is not a fighting state. If you enter the fighting state, it will be more powerful. This is the real monster. Now no one dares to question his words. Take out all your strength, I don't want to waste time, otherwise, once I do, you will have to go to another world to regret. After hearing Su Yifeng's words, Long Chen's eyes turned from his vision to Su Yifeng's face, cold tunnel. Su Yifeng's words are shocking enough, and Long Chen's words are even more arrogant. For a moment, people can't believe their ears. What are these two guys talking about? Su Yifeng has already become so strong before he starts fighting. What Long Chen means is that once he starts fighting, Su Yifeng has no ability to fight back, and even will be killed directly. Although they can't say that Long Chen is bragging, it's too exaggerated to be believed and accepted. Ha ha ha. Su Yifeng saw Long Chen staring at his vision in a daze before, and thought that Long Chen was scared. Now Long Chen said such arrogant words, he laughed angrily. I don't know that there is a limit to boasting, you are not qualified to be arrogant in front of me. Su Yifeng finally can't help it. He steps on the void, strides thousands of miles, and smashes his fist in the air. Boom! Before the fist fell, countless cracks appeared in the void. It seemed that heaven and earth could not bear it and would be burst by the fist. Shanghai. Hum. Behind the dragon dust, there are endless stars, just like the sea of stars. Ziki. Hum. The purple gas surges in the sea of stars, and the whole sky turns purple. The dragon dust summons the purple gas from the sea of stars. This is also the first time that the dragon dust summons the purple K star after the 7 stars are full. In the sea of stars, the purple air is surging, the dragon dust is not quick. A boxing out, after the first, and Su Yifeng fight hard. Boom, with a bang, the whole challenge arena trembles, and the huge challenge arena shakes like a boat. Around the Xinguang arena is endless seawater, which formed a tsunami and poured into the buildings in Xinguang state, and countless people were embarrassed to resist. When the sea water sweeps, people can't help but take a breath when they look at the challenge arena again. The challenge arena at the foot of Longchen is cracked, covering hundreds of thousands of miles. However, Su Yifeng was in a dilemma. He took 8 steps to stabilize himself. This time he took one more step back than before. This is... Suddenly someone looked up into the void and saw 9 days above. He didn't know when the stars were shining. The whole world seemed to be under the sea of stars. Is this the vision of Longchen? Someone exclaimed. People look at the sea of stars in the god ring behind the dragon dust, and then look at the sea of stars above their heads. Su Yifeng's vision can be extended. Although they are shocked, they also take it for granted. After all, it is the strongest blood in 9 days and 10 places. But Longchen could not see any blood at all. He could even summon such a terrible vision. Even people could not see the origin of the vision. Only the strong people from Xingazong, looking at the endless sea of stars with a look of excitement and awe, know that this is the strongest vision of Xingazong. Bang! Su Yifeng suddenly tried to stabilize his body, and the ground under his feet exploded. He was angry and full of killing intention. It seemed that he had been fooled, and he was shocked back again with a confident blow. Be careful at this time, Su Yifeng's ear heard Su Ziner's exclamation. At the same time, Su Yifeng's back was cold, his scalp was numb, almost reflexively, and his body retreated sharply. Chi! The moment Su Yifeng retreated, his chest was torn by a golden dragon claw. If he retreated a little slower, his heart would be caught out. People were shocked. When the claw appeared, Longchen was still far away. People thought that someone had suddenly attacked. But soon, the owner of the dragon claw appeared. It was dragon dust. At this time, a pair of golden wings appeared behind the dragon dust, which were Kunpeng's wings. When the dragon dust in Kunpeng's wings appeared, the dragon dust standing in the same place disappeared from people's sight. It turned out that it was just a shadow. How could that be? How can there be such a terrible speed? People were stunned, especially the strong people outside. Longchen didn't use any tricks to confuse him. His action was fast. Because it was too fast, it exceeded the limit of space law, so people didn't see his attack. At that moment, the strong faces of the Su family changed. At the same time, the strong faces of the Kunpeng family also changed. The dragon dust refined the wings of the Kunpeng family, which was a great disrespect to the Kunpeng family. The strike of Longchen made everyone startled, but Longchen's face was calm, and his palm was stained with purple blood. Longchen slowly raised his hand, looked at the sticky purple blood on his hand, and sniffed it close to his nose. The killing intention in his eyes soared to the extreme in a moment. You have betrayed the purple blood pulse, so there's nothing to say. Go to die. Behind the dragon dust, the wings of the Kunpeng flutter. People are like ancient birds of prey. They can imagine endless shadows and jump straight at Su Yifeng. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:11 Hum. Longchen's speed is too fast. He can see the shadow all over the sky. As soon as he moves, he arrives in front of Su Yifeng and hits him with one punch. Su Yifeng was surprised and angry. He was almost punctured by the claw of Longchen. Before he was shaken, Longchen killed him again. He didn't dare to take it hard. The purple chi behind him trembled and the man quickly retreated. Boom! With a bang, Long Chen smashed his fist in the air, and the void vibrated, forming a transparent sonic boom space. That sonic boom space just burst open, and rapidly contracted, and unexpectedly returned to the hands of Long Chen, and Long Chen fist a rotation, again hit out. Kaka kaka. With the rotation of Long Chen's fist, there is a sharp sound explosion on the fist, which cuts through the void. Where the fist passes, the void is plowed out a gap. When seeing this scene, countless people were shocked. The strong men of the Su family all stood up. In fact, Long Chen's empty boxing was not because of Su Yifeng's brilliant retreat. But Long Chen seems to expect that Su Yifeng will hide, this boxing empty, power burst out in the void, but with wonderful power will be banned. Before the power of the first blow dissipates, the second blow will catch up, which is equal to adding the power of the second blow to the power of the first blow. This kind of superposition technique is not uncommon. Many people can do it, but it's a double-edged sword. Once it's interrupted, you have to bear not only the strength of the other side, but also your own strength. If you can't do it well, you'll lose your life. How powerful is Su Yifeng? Who dares to stack in front of him? At the moment of the first punch of Long Chen, everyone can see that Long Chen didn't want to use the technique of superposition. It was at the moment of Su Yifeng's retreat that Long Chen released his strength into the void and added his strength. It's a quick and easy move, but it proves that Long Chen's power over himself has reached the peak of perfection. Even in front of the endless strong, this kind of speed still makes their hearts jump wildly. This kind of combat reaction can only be controlled through countless blood and fire experiences. It can't be taught or learned. Fight back. There is a strong cry in the Su family. But he forgot that under the isolation of De Zhen, their voice could not be transmitted to the challenge arena, and their calls were in vain. However, even if no one reminds him, Su Yifeng also feels bad. As soon as he retreats, Long Chen is powerful and unforgiving, forcing him to a dead end. Long Chen once again kills with one punch, which doesn't give him a chance to breathe. This time, if he retreats again, Long Chen is likely to stack up 3 times, and the power of 3 punches will converge into one punch. He can't imagine that kind of power. Su Yifeng roars. At this time, Long Chen presses down with his fist, and a color of struggle appears on his face. Suddenly, the purple runes flow on his arms, and his sleeves burst to pieces, revealing his arms like purple steel. This is the unique magic power of purple blood. When Long Chen hits Su Yifeng's arms with a fist, it makes the sound of gold and iron, and sparks are flying at the same time. Su Yifeng's body trembled violently. His feet plowed a big ditch out of the challenge arena, and it lasted for dozens of miles before he stopped. People look at Su Yifeng and are shocked to find that Su Yifeng's arms, like steel, are cracked. When I look at Long Chen, I find that there are stars twining on Long Chen's fist, which contains endless power. When they saw Long Chen's arm and the disciples of Xinghe sect on and outside the challenge arena, they cheered. Their eyes were full of worship. Because the supernatural power exerted by Long Chen is the highest mental skill of Xinghe sect, and this mental skill was imparted to them selflessly by Long Chen, but they could not understand it because of their limited qualifications. But seeing the dragon dust perform this move, they seemed to see their own future. The power of the stars that destroy the sky and the earth makes them very excited. Many people don't know the relationship between Long Chen and Xingezong, but at this time they see the attitude of the powerful Xingezong and understand the origin of Long Chen's move. Long Chen and Su Yifeng look at each other, but they don't speak. One keeps the posture of punching, the other keeps the posture of blocking with both arms. All of a sudden, the audience is silent. The disciples of the Su family were shocked. They never dreamed that Long Chen was so powerful. Poof! All of a sudden, Su Yifeng's body trembled and finally burst out with blood. At that moment, people were shocked. Did Su Yifeng get hurt? They didn't expect that the division was so fast. Ha ha ha! Su Yifeng was injured, but he laughed. A smile appeared on his face, but the smile was ferocious. Moreover, his eyes also changed. In the original purple pupil, a little black appeared at this time. Ha ha ha. Su Yifeng kept laughing. His laughter grew louder and louder. At the same time, his evil breath became more and more strong. His breath began to change, just like being possessed by something. Is this guy crazy about being beaten by the boss? Looking at Su Yifeng laughing, Guoran does not understand the tunnel. Mengqi shook her head and said, "There is another power in the human body. Although the power is not strong, it is a fire. If what I expect is right, it is because of this fire that Long Chen concludes that Su Yifeng has betrayed purple blood." Boom! At this moment, the void roars, the purple blood vision behind Su Yifeng shakes wildly, and the endless pressure is rampant, as if some monster wants to rush out of the vision. Long Chen, you really surprised me. The punch just now made me feel your real strength. Well, I don't need to improve my strength bit by bit, and I don't need to keep anything. Anyway, the crown of the Holy King must belong to Su Yifeng. Today, Su Yifeng is going to tell all the people that the purple blood people who once commanded the world have come back. Su Yifeng looks up at the sky and roars. His long hair is flying and his arrogance is soaring. The purple ocean behind him is boiling like a pot, and his power is rising rapidly with his long roar. Long Chen looks at Su Yifeng, who has been promoted crazily, but shakes his head. People who are similar to you here, there are not 100, there are 80. Among these 80 people, those who can kill you are definitely more than the number of hands. I really don't know where your self-confidence comes from. You fart. Su Yifeng, who is still roaring wildly, suddenly stops the roaring and looks at Long Chen with a roar. When many people look into Su Yifeng's eyes, countless people exclaim. At this time, many black spots appear in Su Yifeng's purple eyes. It looks so strange and frightening. And his face also seems to have changed. The original handsome appearance even looks like a ghost. Bang! Suddenly, the challenge arena at Su Yifeng's feet exploded, and the vision behind him was ignited in a flash. At that moment, the head of the Su family, who had been watching the battle, showed a smile on his face. It's over. www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:12 Death. Suddenly Su Yi's wind moves, the purple sea behind him burns, and a huge claw covering the sky emerges from his vision. Boom! There was a loud noise, where Long Chen was hit by the claw, and a huge pit of tens of thousands of miles appeared. Boom! The claw fell. The earth burst up, like a meteorite falling on the lake, set off boundless waves, endless green bricks flying out, like a meteor to spread in all directions. Those green bricks hit the border and burst into pieces. There were a few ripples on the border. And the other strong men in the challenge arena, all in astonishment, resist the green bricks one after another. These green bricks, which are comparable to the magic soldiers in the world, are fatal to most people. Puff, puff, puff. Countless strong people, because they have no time to escape, can only block hard. As a result, they are smashed by those green bricks. The people behind the Dragon Blood Legion screamed. They were just about to prepare for defense. Suddenly, the earth in front of them burst open, and a huge city wall broke out. The wall was thousands of li thick and went straight into the sky. On the wall, there were even green bricks on the challenge arena. After a burst of shock, the city wall was smashed to the ground, but it perfectly blocked the super large-scale attack. Boom! The city wall collapsed and merged into the earth, as if nothing had happened. The disciples who were saved by Long Chen were shocked. They didn't even see who did it, so the terrible attack was stopped. The Dragon Blood soldiers, however, were excited. They knew that it was Li Qi and Song Mingyuan who made the move, but they didn't make any moves, and they didn't even seal, so they lightly blocked the blow, which made them very excited. During the period of separation, they all worked hard to practice, and never dared to relax, because they knew that their boss would work harder than them. Now that all the leaders of the four armies are gathered together, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan just show their hands casually, which is enough to shock the world. As Dragon Blood soldiers, they feel very proud. Compared with the Dragon Blood Legion, other Terrans are not so lucky. Although this kind of aftereffect is nothing to the absolute strong, not everyone is so strong. Not all the strong can take care of others like the Dragon Blood Legion. The Terran is the closest to the battlefield. After this wave of attacks, at least hundreds of thousands of hapless people died. However, the lives of the weak are just like weeds. No one cares about them. Everyone's eyes are on the battlefield. They looked at the location of Longchen in shock, where a huge pit appeared, and the claw was deeply embedded in the challenge arena. The people can't see the figure of Longchen. They can't help but be startled. Su Yifeng's attack is coming too fast. There is no sign at all. It's too late to react. No, Longchen is not dead. Look at the sky. Someone exclaimed. When people look at the void, they can see that above the void, the divine circle flows, the sea of stars is bright, and the wings of the Kuanping behind the dragon dust float gently, just like a god of war in the starry sky, overlooking all living beings, which is indescribably arrogant and overbearing. It's a terrible speed. Such an attack can also be avoided. Countless people took a breath of air conditioning. Longchen, with cold eyes, looked at Su Yifeng. You Su people are really stupid. How noble is purple blood? You have defiled it. If you don't have the ability to activate it, you can use magic chi to stimulate its original power. Purple blood repels magic chi and will burn. Although it can burst out great power, it will consume the origin of purple blood and reduce its purity. Your behavior is tantamount to pulling out seedlings to encourage, drinking poison to quench thirst, coveting temporary interests, and losing real treasure. The most important thing is that by doing so, you are tarnishing the glory of your ancestors. You have betrayed the purple blood. You fart, Su Yifeng roars, and the earth explodes, and the giant claw inserted into the challenge arena is withdrawn. He looked at Longchen. What are you, and you are qualified to evaluate our purple blood pulse? He really has the qualification. I can guarantee that. At this time, a very abrupt voice came from the Terran. The voice was not big, but it could spread all over the arena. At first, the voice came from the Terran, but later, it seemed to be the echo of heaven and earth, which caused the harmony of heaven. At that moment, countless people were shocked. Even the heaven outside the challenge arena was moved. The way of heaven was harmonious, which could only be achieved by the immortal strong. Only by mastering the power of all Tao, understanding the secret of immortality, and living with heaven and earth, can people naturally get the voice of heaven and earth when they speak. Hearing that voice, Longchen's face didn't fluctuate. He didn't need to look. He also knew who the man was. However, Su Yifeng was shocked. He turned to look at the crowd and saw a man with a cold and proud face in a group of people. He was looking at him with disdain. The god of heaven, the dragon family? When Su Yifeng saw the mark on the man's dress clearly, his eyes narrowed and he said coldly, "How? Do you want to have a hard time with my Su family?" In an instant, the focus of the whole audience shifted from Longchen and Su Yifeng to the man. When they saw the man, Guoran and others could not help crying out, "Long Outyin!" That man was no other than Long Outyin. Today's Dragon Outyin is a gorgeous suit, with golden dragon patterns embroidered on the cuffs and necklines. It is the family emblem of the immortal family, the dragon family of the heavenly god. There are hundreds of thousands of disciples of the dragon family around Long Outyin. Each of them has an amazing breath. A few of them, even at a glance, make their souls tremble. Obviously, they are all masters among the masters. In the face of Su Yifeng's question, Long Outyin sneers, "You Su family are a group of idiots. Can you be compared with my Long family? Are you putting gold on your face?" You. Su Yifeng is very angry. The Su family and Long Jiasu come to the well and do not cross the river. He doesn't know Long Outyin, so there is no way to have any hatred. At this time, Long Outyin obviously has a bad intention against him. At that moment, not only Su Yifeng's disciples were angry, but also the strong ones outside the challenge arena. The dragon family suddenly attacked the Su family. "What do you mean? Don't you, your Su family's pulse has been ruined, purple blood has been defiled by you, and I don't want to touch a higher level of purple blood magic power in my life. Su Yifeng said, turning to Longchen. What's the matter? I've been waiting for you for a long time. Instead of wasting time with such a fool, I'd better kill him and let go of our grudge. If you think that killing him will waste a lot of energy, and you will lose money if you fight with me again, it doesn't matter. I can help you kill him. As soon as Long Aoshan's words came out, the strong people on the scene all looked shocked. They couldn't even believe their ears. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42:13 Long Aoshan's words make countless people change color. Listening to Long Aoshan's tone, it seems that killing Su Yifeng is nothing. You know, at this time, Su Yifeng's power was amazing. With the blow just now, even the congenital god had to give up. Although Long Chen avoided this blow, it can't prove that Long Chen has the strength to fight with Su Yifeng. Now a dragon Outyin is killed on the way out. Listen to his tone, it's very easy for him or Long Chen to kill Su Yifeng, and everyone is stunned for a moment. In the face of Long Outyin, the man who has taken away his own spiritual blood, spiritual root, and spiritual bone, Long Chen wants to tear him to pieces. But hate to the extreme, but it will make people calm down. Long Chen looked at Long Outyin lightway. He is just a conceited mole ant. Kill him and won't cost me much effort. If you want a hand, can come out at any time, don't worry about him. Long Chen and Long Aoshan's dialogue, listening to Su Yifeng's ears, his lungs are about to explode. Death? Su Yifeng roared. Suddenly the vision behind him trembled, and people rushed to the dragon dust like a meteor. At the same time, the endless purple spread, forming a purple field, wrapping the dragon dust in it. Su Yifeng rushes in front of Longchen. This time he calls the field. He is no longer afraid of Longchen's avoidance, and smashes his fist at Longchen. Although he had a long sword hanging around his waist, Longchen didn't use weapons. Even in his anger, his pride didn't allow him to use weapons first. Lead the star into the body, the fist of 1,000 stars. Dragon dust stopped drinking, and among the hundreds of millions of stars behind him, 1,000 stars lit up rapidly. At the same time, people felt that the light above their heads was so bright that the stars above 9 days also lit up. When Long Chen performed this move, countless disciples of Xinghe sect cheered. This move was the supreme unique skill of Xinghe sect, which aroused the power of stars into the body and released the power of stars with flesh and blood. However, among them, those with strong talent can only activate the power of dozens of stars, and the strongest cannot reach 100. In an instant, the dragon dust draws the power of 1,000 stars, and sees the star pattern flashing on the arm of the dragon dust, forming the star arm in the divine image. Bang! One fist is full of purple totem, one fist is illusory, and the two fists collide with each other. There was a big bang, the void burst open, white light scattered, as if the sun was blown. People cannot open their eyes. Poof! Before people's vision recovered, they heard the sound of blood gushing from their mouths. When people's vision recovered, they found that Su Yifeng flew upside down and left blood stains on the corners of his mouth. How could that be? The strong men of the Su family were so surprised and angry that even the head of the Su family stood up and his face changed greatly. He knows the strength of Su Yifeng in this state. Su Yifeng is almost invincible, but in front of Long Chen, he even suffered losses. On the challenge arena, the disciples of the Su family were shocked. They couldn't believe their eyes. The invincible Su Yifeng was defeated again. Dragon dust did not pursue, he quietly looked at his arm, stars flow, endless power in the Pentium. The elder of the dragon clan is right. As long as the flesh is strong enough, all other magical skills can be captured easily. The foundation of Xinghe Sky formula is to have a strong physical body. As long as the physical body is strong enough to hold the power of the whole Xinghe, who is the opponent? A smile appeared on Long Chen's face. Who? Suddenly, the wings of the Kuanping behind the dragon dust quiver, and the dragon dust disappears in an instant. At the moment when the dragon dust disappears, Su Yifeng's sweat and hair stand upright. Choking, his long sword came out of its sheath, and the purple sword body passed through the void. A piece of purple divine light fell, and the void was cut open by his sword. At that moment, countless people felt soul tingling, as if they had been cut open by a sharp blade. Immortal magic weapon. Some people exclaim that this is an immortal magic weapon, and it is also an extremely terrible immortal magic weapon, and Su Yifeng can control it. The sword cuts out and the void tears. But this sword cuts a void. At the moment when the sword cuts the void, Su Yifeng's face changes greatly. He makes a wrong judgment and is about to change his move. A big handful of stars, from a very strange angle, solidly pumped on his face. With a bang, Su Yifeng was slapped upside down and flew out. The power of this palm was too fierce. Su Yifeng flew straight to the Su camp like a meteor. "Hide quickly," Su Shiner exclaimed, but it was too late for her to remind him. Su Yifeng ran into the crowd, and several conceited Su Jiaqiang reached out to meet him. Puff, puff, puff. As a result, all those who touched him were shattered into blood mist, dozens of Su family disciples died, and Su Yifeng bumped so many people that he stopped. But to everyone's horror, except for a palm print on his face, Su Yifeng didn't seem to be hurt. It's cruel enough to use the body of the family to remove the power of the big stars. The idea of the Su family is right. The weak should die. Gu Yang sees this scene, can't help but sneer. As soon as his words came out, countless people responded. No wonder Su Yifeng didn't get hurt at all. His emotion was to catch the ghost for death. No wonder these people were shocked to death. It's so cruel. You know, there are still two supreme heavenly pride among those people. People say, this Su Yifeng is really a cruel role, even his own people do not let go. The purple chi is boundless, the sword cuts the sky. Su Yifeng roars. His long sword points to the sky, and he cuts down at Longchen with one sword. He uses his family disciples' power to remove Longchen's stars, seizes the opportunity to fight back, and cuts down at Longchen with one sword. Boom, just as Su Yifeng's sword fell, Longchen's face changed greatly. Suddenly, his wings behind him trembled and his whole body disappeared. People are shocked. What's the situation of Longchen? Don't you dare to take Su Yifeng's move? But soon people will know the answer. They don't know when the big quiver above the challenge arena will come out and go straight to the center of the challenge arena. Longchen and Su Yifeng are in the middle of the challenge arena. Longchen feels bad for the first time and escapes directly. Su Yifeng's will and soul can't lock him down at all. Even if there is purple field, he can only feel his position, but can't limit him. As soon as Longchen escapes, Su Yifeng is dumbfounded. His reaction is half a beat slower than Longchen. His sword can't be retrieved. In people's eyes, his sword didn't seem to cut to the dragon dust, but to the magic light of the big array. Su Yifeng was almost crazy. No matter how conceited he was, he did not dare to fight against the attack of De Zhen. Poof! Su Yifeng suddenly burst out with blood and took back part of his sword. Although he only took back part of it, he suffered terrible injuries. He couldn't care so much about it. He was in a flash and galloped away. Boom! As a result, he just started, and the terrible light came, enveloping him in a moment. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.